online at ShelbyHeating.com. See their page at WhatsUpShopper.com and like them on Facebook too. Located at 1990 Eves Road in Shelby.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive on Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain.
Palmer Crichton of North Lincoln High School is this month's McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. Palmer is a junior at North Lincoln High School and is the son of Nate and Dana Crichton. Palmer plays basketball and tennis and has a weighted 4.4 grade point average. His advanced courses include U.S. history and language. Palmer's a member of the Holy Spirit Catholic Church. His community activities include Love Denver, a Denver Nugget Camp counselor, a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and is a soup kitchen volunteer. After graduation, Palmer plans to attend a 4-year university medical school. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What'sUpShopper.com Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievements in the classroom and for overall school and community citizenship.
Hey, look, it's Gary Dellinger with Dellinger Electric. Gary, what's going on?
Hey, Calvin, just stopped by to see how the new jingle was coming along.
Well, as a matter of fact, we just finished it up. Want to hear it?
Oh, I can't wait.
Here we go.
When it comes to your wiring, you don't want to monkey around. Call Dellinger Electric. They're the best electricians in town.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even give her phone number. And monkey around?
704-435-0705. They're the best electricians in town.
I don't have to pay for that. Do I?
It's time to play at the Green Meadows Golf Course on Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. Weekends just $30. Seniors ride and play Monday through Friday for $20. And every Wednesday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride for just $15. So make your tee time now by calling the Green Meadows Golf Course, 704-827-9264. Green Meadows Golf Course, 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly.
With warmer weather coming soon, get a great rate on recreational vehicles such as motorcycles, campers, boats, RVs, tractors, and more. Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville is offered a special rate on recreation vehicles as low as 2.75% APR. Apply online at carolinafcu.org or by phone or in person. Rates based on credit history. Let Carolina Federal Credit Union treat you like family. Located at 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville.
Good morning and welcome to another Saturday Sports Talk with Kevin and JP. And our stand-ins today, Matt.
I knew he wouldn't remember.
And Robbie Root.
Yay. Matt Chapman is here. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Kevin. How you guys doing?
Good. Robbie Roop's here. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning. Good morning.
And Dennis Davis is here. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning.
So if you're listening to one of our regular listeners, we have switched over to 92.9, bigger audience, bigger coverage area, and excited about that for this show especially, and for all, of course, all of our other shows, and especially on Friday nights as well. And if you're one of our regular listeners, one of our regular watchers, yes, I did fire everyone at the table in one night. None of them are here. They're all gone. In fact, none of them. Well, Zach is. I forgot about Zach. I was about to say, since it's Duke, Carolina, Saturday night, we've gotten rid of the Ohio State fan, the NC State fan, kicked him out the hall, and then the Zach is a Carolina fan. There was a few years he liked State as a double. He'll pull for them, and then he's back. He was back to Carolina, so he's qualified as a Carolina fan. I'm a 99% not Tar Heels, Appalachian, but when they play Duke, and in this game right here, I'll pull the old Tar Heel sweatshirt back out for this one. So, sorry about that, Robbie. You're surrounded.
Hey, I live in North Carolina.
I was about to say, now, in all fairness, is this not close to the ratio?
This is pretty much how it
that
works.
It really
so,
is.
So we've nailed it.
I didn't know you were from New Jersey, Rob.
There you go.
For those not familiar with what's big, and I'm glad as far as this goes, a lot of people don't get this. So I've been talking to a few people, and they're like, is it going to be like a Super Bowl parties? And I'm like, no. I said, because at Super Bowl parties, there's people from all the teams and everything. It's probably going to be a Carolina party or a Duke party. There's probably too much riding on this line for someone not to get physically violent tonight. So this could be one of the most violent nights in the history of North Carolina.
I want nobody in my house tonight. I don't care if they're Duke fan, Carolina fan, nobody.
Again, and a lot of people are like that also, that they are going to be to where they are very superstitious. I'm not a superstitious one, but there are some people that do the old Woody Durham, go where you go, do what you do, right, Dennis?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm sort of an odd fan here in that I grew up being a Duke fan, Robbie. Because in the third grade, a new kid from Morganton moved in and sat behind me by the name of Andy Foster. And Andy and a deceased friend of ours, Doug Benson, we were all three Duke fans. Coach Bubas was there at the time. Now, after Coach Bubas left, I got to know some of the Duke guys, like Mike Jaminski came to Duke. He was not graduated from school yet. He took an early leave up there, and they sort of snuck him in the back door. But I remember working with him and Terry Chili and some of those guys. But Walter Davis and I were real tight friends. And long story short, I evolved into a Carolina fan because I knew a bunch of the football guys at Carolina. I knew a bunch of the basketball guys. And so here I am. Now I'm a diehard Tar Heel. And my claim to fame is I made the front page of the Greensboro paper with Dean Smith. He and I had a coaching clinic. And Roy Williams and I used to room together. So other than that, I have no comment before the Tar Heels.
Yeah. Well, glad to have you, Dennis, and you too, Robbie, and Matt this morning. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. We've got a lot more to get, a lot of stuff to get to today. We've got Final Four as well. KTC, of course, we have the games. Both games today, 4:30 Villanova and Kansas. We'll break that down as well. JP didn't wear his Villanova shirt, did you, JP?
No, unfortunately, I have no sports team affiliated shirts.
All right, JP always has to pick, though, so see if he outpicks the experts, which 99% of the time he does. So, JP, this weekend, we'll give you the picks to start it off. The Villanova Wildcats versus the Kansas Jayhawks for JP.
Hawks.
Jayhawks for JP. And then the North Carolina Tar Heels and Duke Blue Devils for JP. Oh, the world is on the edge of their seats, JP. What you got? Duke or Carolina? Today, your mic is on.
Duke.
JP goes Duke.
Ooh.
All right, JP. Duke and Kansas.
Duke.
Duke, so JP has the Blue Devils winning the championship. Robbie will make sure he pats him on the back before he leaves. All right, so there's JP's picks. JP, how's breakfast this morning? What'd you get, a sausage biscuit?
Yes, it is the best one I've had so far from Mitchum's Kitchen.
Robbie, how was your you and Matt had chicken biscuits this morning. You guys, good breakfast today.
I about to say everything you get from Mitchum Kitchens, man, always good.
All right, Dennis, you had, I believe, steak or pork chop biscuit, something like that.
Yeah,
and,
very good. Tasty.
And I had a chicken biscuit as well. So fantastic breakfast, Mitchum's Kitchen. Now, Robbie, we also got to, first of all, talk about our main sponsor here and the folks, on the 92.9 in the bigger listening area. Shelby Heating and Air is our main sponsor here on our Saturday morning show. And, Robbie, if you won't mind giving the phone number.
Yeah, Shelby Heating and Air, 704-487-7877. You can contact them there.
Now, they're over on 1990 Eves Road in Shelby. If you want to know where they're at exactly, they've got emails up on their website. It's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. They do have emergency services available. Go to their website, shelbyheating.com, and folks, pull up their what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling up their coupons. $20 off performance tune-up. Robbie, how about some of these other coupons?
Hey, how about that $200 off complete installation, man?
Ooh.
I mean, that's nice. And then 15% off programmable thermostat. If I can get it out.
I didn't tell you there'd be any reading today.
Yeah, I didn't know I was about to read. I didn't practice this morning. $100 off an Infinity Air Purifier. $25 off a new customer referrals. So all your heating and air needs definitely taken care of there.
All right, well, we'll go quickly around the room. First of all, some of our newly listeners in the audience, and if you're listening on the radio now, folks, you can watch this show live on YouTube every Saturday. Go to ktcbroadcasting.com for the link, or you can just go to the KTC Broadcasting YouTube page and pull us up there live and watch us. I do post. We do like to post our teams that we represent or pull for, whatever, there at the bottom. So let's see if I get my finger right here on this. You see my Appalachian State, Bessemer City, Cleveland Brown Delph, Charlotte Hornets, and the St. Louis Cardinal. And real quick, we'll go around the room to introducing some of the fellas. Here's Dennis Davis.
Hey, how you guys?
Atlanta Braves, Charlotte Hornets, Crest Charger, Carolina Panther, and a UNC Tar Heel. Right?
If I like it, KTC carries it.
All right. Robbie Roop. So Dennis is our audience. And if he's here, I guess they're with our audience. Rob, Duke, Hornets, Crest, Braves, and Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, sir.
That one's the kind of random in that group, as far as if you look at it that way.
Hassan Reddick.
Get
ready.
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, that's JP. JP's got his superheroes up there, don't you, JP? Okay. And then, of course, I've got everybody labeled. I got to figure out who you are today. So Matt's Zach today, and Matt is a Denver Broncos fan who just got him a shiny new quarterback. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. I think he was a little bit excited about that.
Well, you got one too, and we'll talk about that.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to describe him as shiny or not. I don't know. We're gonna stay away from anything describing him right now.
Is that legal reasons?
Who knows? Yes. And Matt is also a Hornets fan, so everyone in the ballpark, Hornets, 3 out of 4 Tar Heels. Matt is a Salisbury Hornet, right?
Yes.
I will make sure I say that you get that right. And also a Boston Red Sox fan. So that's Matt Chapman today. And of course, it wouldn't be a fun show without having or one of our shows without having a little fun. So if you're watching online, we've got to introduce, of course, Robbie in his Eagles fame when they won the championship there. Him and Little Nicky. If you can see over in the corner, there's RJ.
That's right.
Now that was actually holding his daughter, right? Nick Foles holding his daughter.
Nick Foles holding his daughter.
I got RJ. I got to sneak RJ in a lot of these shows. I like doing that. I don't even know if he knows it. It's like when I talk to my kids, Robbie. I would say 50% of our language is like 90s rap lyrics and or old songs. Like they'll just I'll just sing it, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" You'll know later.
Well, the good thing is at his age now, he's actually started to enjoy because now it's crazy. Now for my son, those are, like I said, those are the classics.
Yeah, right.
For me, it was listening to 70s and 80s rocks. Now for my son, it's 90s grunge has become classic rock.
I just don't know how I feel about someone in skinny jeans telling me my gangster rap isn't cool.
I don't want to hear it, guys. Robbie was actually a student of mine.
That's true too.
Now that's old.
Well, good morning, everybody. Shelby, heatingandair.com. Like we just said a few minutes ago, let me go one more time. 704-487-7877, shelbyheating.com. Special offers today. All right, JP, we'll stay here for we've got a few minutes first. I forgot our first segment here is always NASCAR, as we leave our first NASCAR show, or our show before here is the NASCAR show. So we like to kick off this part of the show as just giving you guys updates on what it is. JP, pull up our schedule in there, and I'll see if you can go through this. Now, my intern this week, I should have made him read it. This is the first time he's ever read like NASCAR like race names, and he was just having a ball with how funny it was to read some of these names. He was just like, how is this a name of a thing? And I was just like, just bear with us. So, JP, I don't know what Dad typed in there. I've got some of them here. Let's see what you got in there this weekend. How about just go over this weekend's total schedule, not just the racing, total schedule for us here on ktcbroadcasting.com.
All right, we have the Charlotte Hornets in Philadelphia at 12:30 p.m. We have the Toyota KR250 at 1 p.m. Villanova in Kansas at 4:30. North Carolina versus Duke at 7:30. Then tomorrow we have the Toyota Owners 400 at 2:30. And the NCAA Women's Championship at 7:45.
There you go. You did great. Of course, he was reading some of the ones there in the future. It was, I saved 50 cents at the gasstation.com race or whatever it was, one of those Xfinity races. But all right, so NASCAR this weekend, we are going to be. Let me pull that up. In our standings. How's next weekend's in Martinsville, folks? We've got ticket giveaway to Martinsville. We have a ticket giveaway to Martinsville. We will have that on the show. Call in on the show here. We'll give you a little way to win in just a few moments. But we have tickets to Martinsville. Hey. You ever been? And I've never been. Any of y'all ever been to Martinsville?
I have.
For any reason? To the race?
Yeah, I've been up there. It's a cool race to watch.
Tell me a little bit about it then. About getting to the track, going to it, and everything. I'm glad someone here has been. I've always wanted to go to Martinsville, and I've never been there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too far across the state line.
It's right.
It's not
3
too bad
hours,
of a drive.
I think, from here.
Yeah, it's in a little town. I actually almost took a newspaper job up there. 5-6 years ago. But at being at the race is cool. I mean, everything is right there. Everything's so close. It's definitely a unique experience, different than Charlotte Motor Speedway.
It's more. Does it give you the feel of how like North Wilkesboro might have been back in the day?
Yeah,
it's sort of the Woods Brothers home track, and the unique thing about the trophy there, it's a grandfather clock.
Right, and I think Jimmy has like 7 or 11 of those or something like that. There's a lot of clocks. Everyone he's ever kin to has got a clock for Jimmy Johnson, I believe. But of course, he's not going to be there this weekend. He's doing IndyCar. And I talked a little bit with the boys about that last week. I'll mention that here in a minute again. But a little bit more about Martinsville, about the race, like being there in person. It's a short track. It's a paperclip, very repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
Is it louder more than Charlotte being everything that close? You would say, or differences between that you think are like better as far as being in person at the short track, as far as being in Charlotte at the mile and a half.
So when I went to Martinsville, through one of my college roommates, we actually had infield passes, so we were watching from the infield, so it's definitely louder than what I had experienced just being up in the stands at Charlotte for sure. It's just really cool because every part of the track, there's action going on. It's easy to see everything. Not that that's not the case at Charlotte as well, but it was a really neat experience.
Cool.
Well, like you mentioned, Kevin, it sort of harkens back to the days of the North Wilkesboros and the smaller tracks. It's not dirt, but it's got that feel. Earnhardt's, both of them, loved that track because it was back to the old-timey racing, and it was a little fender banging.
Mhm.
You might not quite Bristol, but it was a, when push comes to shove, I'll shove you.
I'm looking. I don't think they've qualified yet for the Richmond race this weekend. That's where they are this week. I know he's talking a little bit about Martinsville, but because we do have a giveaway. Real quick, let me get back up to the schedule here for the folks online and pull it up. All right, in Richmond this weekend today there is a practice in the Wheeling series. Is that? I guess that's in Richmond as well. Are they doing that? I'm not sure. Modified tour is what it says. Qualified 4:15, 6:30. Virginia is for racing lovers 150. Saturday, April 2nd for the Xfinity Series, 8:30 a.m. this morning. They're practicing. 9 o'clock they're qualifying. So they'll be qualifying here coming up shortly on the show. NASCAR qualifying is 11:15. They're practicing at 10:30. And then Xfinity Series racing today at 1:30 tomorrow, 3:30. Toyota owners 400 here on KTC Broadcasting. You can listen to that here on our new shiny new signal, 92.9. All right, they haven't qualified. Real quick, we'll go over the standings and see if anybody's got any favorites for right now then. Elliott in first, Blaney, Logano, Bowman, Chastain, William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., and Eric Almirola are your top 8. Terry's favorite, Kyle Busch, is sitting at 11. And let's see if any notables there. Keselowski's about last.
I was about to say, how bad of a shape has Brad Keselowski put himself in?
Well, it's his own doing. The first race of the year, he wrecked like 3 cars on purpose. And one thing we talked about was how, I don't see how you guys feel. How do you feel about a car owner actually racing on the track together, and then he's dumping other manufacturers out there on the track, and they've got to sit there and pick up the parts, and he doesn't when he does that. And then since then, he's not been done too well in the non-restrictor place, and now he's getting suspended, or they got fined some docks and points. And then to begin the year, remember they already had a problem or deal with NASCAR that they let them pass with the lug nuts. They were messing with the
Yeah, they got a one lug.
Yeah, it's one lug now, and they were messing with the threading, I think, to make it lock better or something. They were saying so. They've already been in a lot of stuff, so I don't know. What do you think about that? An owner actually racing on the track, and does that not somehow affect competition in a way it maybe shouldn't? I know Hamlin owns the Bubba, like
that's
his car.
That's what I was fixing to throw in there. There you got another guy, and do you wreck that car that you own part of?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what do you think, Robbie? As far as that, is that
I think for NASCAR to maintain, I think you're going to have to see guys like Keselowski on those teams to, especially.
But while driving is the issue.
Well, I think you want those guys in when they can get in, and if Brad still feels like he has it on the track to do it, then still do it. But as we've seen, some of the choices he's making on the track is he's hurting his own teams. I mean, he's paying for it regardless. Brad's just got to figure out between his own ears what he needs to do.
Other sports
put his team in a good spot.
Right. Other sports won't allow, like they won't allow LeBron to own part of the Lakers.
Right.
And so bring it because it brings up a lot of issues. So if that's my thing is that him being an owner in the sport is totally different than let's say like Kyle Busch and they own truck and Xfinity Series. Perfectly fine. Go down there, and I know he goes in there and race and does his thing, but this is the top tier sport. Jordan had to sell his rights in the Wizards to play for the Wizards. It wasn't that he was paying himself when he did that. He had to sell his rights, play for them, and then come back. And that's how he ended up being in the Hornets and not with the Wizards this whole time. But anyway, I don't know. I don't like it really. I like him driving. I love him being out there. I like the older guys. Jimmy Joxx can obviously race. I don't know if you saw it last week.
He's doing IndyCar.
Yes. And so last week was his first oval race. Started 18th, finished 6th. Okay. The race, the IndyCar announcers were beside themselves on how well he was doing there on the oval, passing some of the other cars. In fact, Jimmy passed 21 cars on track, 17 for position. I guess those other ones were lapped. 7 of those passes were in the top 10, 2 passes in the top 5, leading the field in passing on the day.
Most of these guys that are top-notch NASCAR drivers got their start in go-karts, midgets, IndyCar style. I mean,
Jimmy got his racing motorcycles.
Yeah.
In fact, and then he was. I've watched some of his old races. He did the rally trucks.
Yeah.
They show some of the ones where he goes back and watches and he flips them, and he's like, "I spent so much time on my head."
But you think about the history of this, how those drivers came to NASCAR on a limited basis back then. But you got, AJ Foyt, you got Mario Andretti. I'm trying to think, Johnny Rutherford. All these guys come in and they'd win like the Daytona 500. And it made the NASCAR guys sort of look like, you could only do one thing.
Well, they could compete in the in restrictor plate a little bit, about anybody can, but nobody's crossed over really. Either one of them had done any success. Jimmy struggled and where Jimmy struggled in IndyCar, like I said, this is his first oval race.
Yeah.
And he finished sixth and he led in passing. Now, the one thing he did that no one else on the track was doing that the IndyCars, the guys, announcers were just over themselves about at Texas. So, NASCAR, they'll ride the fence. IndyCar guys are not. They are riding the bottom line as close to the line as they can. And there's a clear distinction of where the rubber has went up there. Jimmy was riding not up against the fence, but he was riding in the corners, and they were single file in the corners.
Yeah.
So he was passing double file around the corners, and the IndyCar guys were like, "We don't see this at all for you folks watching this. This doesn't happen." And he was just, "I'm going out because I know what to do." He just ran the corner and passed them. And he talked about halfway through the race that once he figured out how to roll it around there, his biggest thing is being, as far as the comparison in the cars, is, in Indy, he's done nothing but road races. So in those cars, it's almost like when you're driving a jet ski, you accelerate to turn a lot of times as opposed to braking. And he has not got that down 100%. Like, I feel like I'm going to die turning into the corner. And because in NASCAR, you make that turn, the car slides. It's just too heavy. And then in IndyCar, it sticks and goes. And he's not got that 100% down and passing in that. But on the oval, and so they're actually talking in the circus that his next race is the 500 on the oval, the Indy 500.
Yeah.
And they're saying he does have a chance to win this. That based on that they're 100% confident. Not that he's going to, but he's going to compete for the Indy 500. So that's something that we made be history.
But look at the history. You got Janet Guthrie, Danica Patrick, Jeff Gordon even really came to NASCAR from that kind of background. So there's a lot of experience there. Back in '63, when the rear engine came in, a little guy from Scotland by the name of Clark came over, and they put the engine in the back of the car, and he did an outstanding thing. What most people don't understood was back in that day, you pulled in the pits in Indianapolis, and they just sort of sat there, and some fat guy climbed over the fence and took the knockoff wheels and changed it and everything. But Ford brought in the Woods Brothers NASCAR pit team. They couldn't believe you can change 4 tires in 18 seconds, not a minute and a half. And it revolutionized Indy racing. So there's been this cross current.
They change them all at once right now. Have you seen that?
Yeah, with the jacks in the car. I keep waiting. We're going to talk
crazy.
about this new NASCAR version. It's not NASCAR anymore. It's basically Grand Am racing. There's really no difference between the Grand Am car because you've got a crate engine on a crate frame with a body that's not metal, and it's plug and play kind of thing. It's like putting together a model slot racers. You go to the slot track, and if your luck holds out and you get a good car, you can win that week.
All right, Matt, give me a winner for this weekend.
Winner for this weekend?
There's your stand. Well, I took your standings off the board, but you can see them right there on the big board in front of me.
I'll go Alex Bowman.
All right.
Picking up win number 2 this year.
Somebody from Hendrick Motorsports.
Somebody from Hendrick Motorsports. Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
1 of 5, huh?
I'm gonna go Joey Logano. Dennis.
I'm with Robbie. Somebody from Hendricks is probably going to win that one.
Chase Elliott's got to get. He's got to get in victory lane at some point.
I think he drew the short straw this week and he wins.
Yeah.
All right, JP, you ready in there? Yep. You doing good in there? What you reading?
Not reading anything, not yet. I'm playing my game right now.
What game is it? Angry Birds?
No, actually, it's Mario 64 for the Nintendo DS.
Okay. Well, hope you're having fun there, JP. Play us a commercial. We'll be right back in a few minutes on Shelby Heating and Air, Saturday Morning Sports Talk, KTC Broadcasting.
Yes, it's tax time, and maybe you need some relief. And Shelby Heating and Air has a great spring tax relief tune-up special for just $69. Make sure your air condition is ready for the summer heat with a $69 tune-up. They'll do a complete system checkup and change your filters too. You can even book online or call 704-487-7877. Ask for the $69 spring tax relief special. Shelby Heating and Air, 1990 Eves Road in Shelby. Online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Ford on the inside, Toyota on the outside. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing.
Heads to the River City.
Trouble turn number 1. Tommy Joe Martins goes for a spin.
For another trip around Richmond Raceway.
He's got a car length advantage, staying that way up off turn 4. Checkered flag in the air. Noah Gragson wins.
It's the Toyota Care 250.
The Toyota Care 250, Saturday, April 2nd at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
You're listening to the Wolfman Jack.
I tell you, when I was a little kid, I was brought up listening to Alan Freed.
Wolfman Jack.
When I was just getting started, the hip thing was to say, "What's happening, Jack?" "Hey, Jack, what's going on?" So that was the hip slang, So being a horror classic freak like I am, I chose the Wolfman because it was a very animal-sounding name, and the name Jack because of the hip slang. What's happening, Jack? Because Jack always knew what was happening. You understand what I mean?
Wolfman Jack.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12 noon on The Balls. WOHS Shelby, online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Trusted, tried, and true. Those three words represent the highest standards for the Kawasaki Mule side-by-sides. Trusted means being built strong and built to last. Tried means being put to the test by hardworking people doing the toughest jobs. And true means staying authentic to the roots that run 30 years deep. Kawasaki Mule, the definition of trusted, tried, and true. See the Kawasaki Mule at Full Throttle Power Sports, located at 101 Indian Walk in Lowell.
What's the best way to explain the golf at Glen Oaks Golf Course in Maiden? It's world-class golf for the working class. Yes, golf is never better than it is at the Glen Oaks Golf Course in Maiden, with special programs for seniors, men, ladies, and juniors, plus a driving range, banquet facilities, and a swimming pool, picnic area, and more. For your tee time or other questions, call 828-428-2451. The Glen Oaks Golf Course, 245 Golf Course Road in Maiden. It's world class for the working class.
It's time to come out and play at the newly renovated Lincoln Country Club. Since 1946, the Lincoln Country Club has been challenging golfers. Ask about special membership opportunities, enjoy the new swimming pool, and the restaurant just can't be beat. Practice your drive and know the driving range too. For your tee time, call 704-735-1382 for the Lincoln Country Club. 2052 Country Club Road in Lincoln, and online at lincolncountryclub.net.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang.
Now, I'm usually introduced as Kevin and the gang. Now, I got to. What gang is this? Is this a different gang? Is
Yeah,
this
a
the
couple
same
of them, I
Are these
guess.
the
Game 2.0.
Or are these the ones we keep in the shadows until it's important? I mean,
I
I'm
told
just
you
trying to figure out what
this
gang
is the
is this.
KTC Mafia is what this is. I told you that text the other day.
I said 2.0, man.
Good love you, JP. I hope you're having a good morning and a good week, and good to see you again. And good morning and a good week to everybody else as well. We're going to start this segment, a little bit of baseball. I've got some new folks. We'll get some new thoughts on a couple of things. The first thing, of course, I haven't had a chance to talk with the other guys about, but Robbie, you as a Braves fan, you lost Freddie Freeman and replaced him with a younger guy, and my nephew was upset, and I guess a couple of other folks are around the area as well as too. And I 100% compared this to the Pujols situation when he left, went to a LA team, and it actually may or may not have been more money. Pujols went for, it was $3 million more a year. We offered him 30. He wanted 33. So over 10 years. So,
but he's back.
His wife at the time said that it was an insult. The offer was $300 million was an insult, and then he left. So now he's back for $2 million. So it's not insulting, I guess, for $2 million. So I don't know. I've personally got, as far as that goes, I've got mixed feelings on that. But as far as Braves fans, real quick, and for Robbie, you guys, baseball situation wise, it may be better. You've already got, is it Albies in a steal of a deal, or is it
Acuna?
Acuna.
Yeah, both of them are.
Okay,
yeah, both of them.
So I think you guys, organizationally wise, I think you're in a good situation as far as money, as far as how that's went. But I don't know, as far as losing Freeman, at an MVP World Championship type year, and now he's gone. So I don't know how you guys are dealing, personally, or as far as like Braves fans. What have you heard of the talk as far as people you talk to?
I think it's one of those deals where if you're a Braves fan, you're going to miss him. I mean, that it's kind of Freddie was the next guy. But I also, when you hear Chipper Jones talk, he warned Freddie. He said, "Look, these guys are going to have to make baseball moves, and you keep stringing this thing along, and they're going to have to either move on with you or without you." And that's one thing I give Anthopoulos a lot of credit for. He's not going to sit pat, and he's not going to be played. And the Braves came to their offer. They came back to him. And then when the agent for Freeman comes back and says, "Look, you got an hour to make a decision," Anthopoulos says, "Okay, that's fine." And that's when the Braves started pursuing that Olsen deal, which I think is a great move. I think baseball-wise, it is an outstanding move because, as you said, Kevin, you get younger for a guy who maybe has more power than what Freeman had, and now
Who
you
wants
get him
to be in Atlanta.
Yeah, he's an Atlanta guy. Now he's in a lineup where he's more protected than he was in Oakland. I think we've got a chance to see Olsen really break out and become an outstanding player. The thing I want to see is how it impacts chemistry in the clubhouse.
Right.
But I think this team now has the players on it where they can move past that. Again, I love what Snitker does as a manager. I think he keeps that team together.
Well, Robbie, you've hit on some key points here. First of all, when you think of last year's World Championship teams, you think about Freddie down the stretch. But this time a year ago, Freddie wasn't doing so good.
That's right.
And, you start to wonder if that age thing is creeping up on Freddie. Freddie was the heart and soul of last year's team. But let's face it, the younger guy is going to be there longer. He's going to be more steady. He's not necessarily going to be cheaper. But to replace a Freddie Freeman, I don't think you could have found a better fit.
And the Braves are one of the best teams at keeping stuff in-house.
Yeah.
And so for me, for the Braves to be as adamant as they were about 1 year, they know something. They're not comfortable with something. They're not going to put it out there as something about Freddie. They're not going to say whatever. But they just were not comfortable with that one extra year for whatever reason. And for me, Anthopoulos and the Braves have bought, for me, that goodwill with the moves they made, what they've done. I'm going to say
it was a team move.
Yeah, I'm going to say, you made the right decision. Let's see how it plays out.
And the people that they traded, while they are good, where were you going to put them in the lineup? I mean, you had an abundance of quality young players because of the farm system. You can afford to lose a couple of those guys like that without it really being so devastating.
The only guy in the system I was concerned they would have to give up in a trade like this, they didn't have to give up, and that's Michael Harris.
Yeah.
The fact that Michael Harris is still in the Braves minor league organization, to me, is a huge get for the Braves.
But what message does not paying Freddie Freeman send to other players about when we sit down to negotiate with you? You can sign here or goodbye. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're the World Series hero and the face of the franchise, we can't fit you under the cap, and we can't do this, that, and the other in the future. It's better for us to go this route.
I think, real quick, the way it was set up is the Braves are going to pay him $2 million a year, and we're arguing over 1 year extra.
Yeah.
So then what are we arguing over? Other than, I think both teams wanted to walk away, and this is the best way.
And let's
to
face
do
it,
it.
Freddie.
Would that not be the way
I know
you
he
did?
spent
If
his
you
whole.
said, "Hey, if Freddie's like, I want to leave," and Braves are going, if it's a mutual breakup, would this not be the kind of way you would word it or put it?
Yeah. Well, to me, there's no shade thrown on either side the way
Right.
this went down. Freddie, of course, has spent his whole career in Atlanta, but let's face it, he's a California kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Has always been. That's where he goes in the off season. A lot of people say, "Well, his wife's from Florida. His wife's from Florida." Well, his wife's not going to mind being in L.A. with that money either. I mean, that's that's where we are right now.
She's got to pay the grocery bill.
Yeah, absolutely.
She wants to go to Beverly Hills, not Sarasota Springs.
There you go.
But think of this: him
The
going
Everglades.
to L.A. It seems like, well, there, take that. I'm going to L.A. and I'll be back in Atlanta because you'll have to play me. But I think that's probably good for Atlanta. They'll get fired up.
But
He'll get fired up.
But wasn't it a complete Anthopoulos move though when they lost Freeman to L.A. and then he goes gets Canley Jensen to put in the bullpen?
It's like that.
You take our All-Star, we'll take yours. We'll put him in our bullpen. I just thought that was a great.
Well,
move.
speaking of All-Stars, I think it was the past 3 years the Dodgers have been put out of the playoffs. They went and signed the team that knocked them out of the playoffs All-Star.
But think about
Every
this.
3 years in a row, the Dodgers did.
We
They took
haven't
your
really-
guys.
Right. We traded him to him.
Well, yeah,
but
you gave it to them.
But yeah, they got Mookie the next year.
We
or
haven't
the
really
year after.
mentioned this, but speaking of the Red Sox and the Braves, have you watched some of those young pitchers from the Braves in spring training? They've got a couple of real aces, I think, that you never heard of. That are
I like the Strider kid
in there now, and they've got the variety. They got the junk. They've got the fastball, and a good friend of mine, like you, Matt, is a Red Sox fan, and I mentioned to him at church the other day about baseball season starting, and he was just, oh, it's the Red Sox. They did nothing. They're selling off everybody. They're giving them away. So I said, well, at least you still have the Green Monster.
Well, last year, you and the Yankees both had the exact same record and made the playoffs. You opening day of the first game of the season, Thursday, April 7th, 1:05 Eastern. Evaldi versus Undecided. How do you assess the Red Sox going into the season? Are you going to make the playoffs / World Series compete?
I think they will make the playoffs. I'm cautiously optimistic on that. I don't know if they're a World Series competitor. That might depend on what Chris Sale shows up whenever he actually is healthy, if he gets healthy. I was a little worried, kind of like Dennis was saying. We're sitting here not doing anything. The Blue Jays are loading up. The Yankees are already loaded. The Rays.
At least they didn't get Freeman, right?
Right. The Rays are the Rays. They're always find a way to be good. But then we signed Trevor Story, which gives us, one of the best infields in baseball. Devers, Bogarts, Story. Whatever we end up doing at first base, whether it's Dahlbeck or one of the young guys, Tristan Casas, I think he's the second ranked prospect in our organization. He's supposed to be up at some time this year. They're going to hit the ball. They always seem to be able to hit the ball, especially in that park. The pitching is the concern, obviously. They signed just a lot of veteran guys who have had success, but it's kind of hit and miss. They've signed, Rich Hill. He's throwing 65-mile-an-hour pitches up there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Phil Necro, huh?
Yeah. It'll be on the pitching. I like Evaldi at the top of the rotation, and like I said, if we could get Chris Sale back to looking something like Chris Sale, hopefully in a month or two, that would make me feel a whole lot better. But I think we'll be competing right there for one of those wild card spots.
The silver lining for you, Matt, is like we're going to talk about a little later about basketball, and that's team versus stars.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, sure, some teams sign stars, but that locker room is not a team type thing. I think we saw that last year in Atlanta. And like Robbie's pointing out, I think this new move, depending on how it goes, and I think it will go well, will fit in better than somebody with a bigger ego. Not saying Freddie's got a big ego, but it will work better than, say, Freddie in Los Angeles. That
Right.
could be a problem. The thing I think for the Red Sox is, hey, none of us are great, but together we're winners.
Oh, yeah.
And so that could be the thing that actually puts you ahead of a club like the Yankees. Let's go out and buy the latest superstar.
Here would be my concern when I look at the American League East. there's going to be a fine line between first and fourth place.
Oh yeah, it's going to be tight.
So I mean, you better hope that pitching comes together pretty quick, because you start falling behind in this division, it's going to be hard, because you're going to have 3 teams you're going to have to climb over. That's an awfully good division this year in the American League East.
Yeah, and we start, right out of the gate. We get the Yankees, and it's not long until we play the Rays and the Blue Jays. But, it was that way last year, all 4 teams. The Blue Jays were a play-in game out of being able to be in the wild card. So it's going to be a dogfight. There's no doubt about it. Kind of what Dennis was saying, the one thing I don't have any concerns about is the clubhouse. I love Alex Cora, the way he connects with those players, especially guys like Devers, Bogarts, in that clubhouse, JD Martinez. It's a tight-knit group. You think back to the shortened season 2 years ago, the Red Sox were maybe the worst team in baseball. And then last year, nobody expected them to make that run to the playoffs. And, when they were up 2-1 on Houston, I thought they were going to the World Series. The way they were hitting the ball, the way they were playing. So you never know. They've got talent. It might not be to the level of the Yankees or the Blue Jays, and they do have some concerns, but they've got veterans on the rotation. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm excited.
All right, opening days Thursday. Guardians open up with the Kansas City Royals. I'm sure we'll hear that a lot about
Guardian.
that next Saturday.
Isn't that Tom's team?
Yes, Tom's favorite team, the Guardians.
I should have wore my Indians hat today.
He said Chief Wahoo permanently lives in this studio and his classroom. So that's what he's. So no Guardians for him. T-shirts. I don't think we're going to get him one, whether he likes it or not. He needs a Guardians henna tattoo. Is what he needs. Pittsburgh will open up in St. Louis. Cardinals, the key, and then has been the key for, let's say since 2004, when Yadier Molina was a rookie. And everybody wants to talk about Albert Pujols and Paul Goldschmidt. The key has always been the man behind the plate. Yadier Molina returns for his 19th year. In 18 seasons, guys, only once have the Cardinals been below 500. Only once. 78 wins, 3 wins away from 500. So the worst they've ever been with Molina behind the plate since 2004 has been 78 wins. So expect a playoff run. Whether they can win a championship or not, I guess we're probably in the same boat as Matt is in. We're outgunned and outmoneyed right now. We'll see how that goes. Pujols batting right-handed against lefties in the playoffs. He's just scare the piss out of some people. You just don't want to leave anything over the plate. You can strike him out, get him out and ground him out or whatever. And one thing that we always talk about on here, as far as the new age baseball and in their fancy mathematical stats, whatever, is that they don't account for actually like real hitting, Dennis. So in a game, you have a man on third, and you're coaching, and you don't. Most coaches, I would say, even around here, a ground ball to second, run scores. I got to run. I'm happy. New age stats do not like that at all. They would rather you strike out or try to hit it out and leave the guy on third. And it's kind of weird how that works. And so what it does, it shows, the guys that put it in play, like somebody like Pujols, I can make contact. Do I try to push this ball out of the park, or do I hit this chopper to second base? A lot of the old hitters used to do that. Chop it to the right side of the field and move the runner and get the thing. And baseball today isn't like that. And that's one thing that he's always been underrated about, as far as that they'll give him crap about is ground outs. And I'm like, a lot of that's hitting the ball opposite way.
Well, Kevin, it's not just baseball. It's all sports. It's the Sports Center highlight has ruined a lot of sports. The 3-pointer
instead of the mid-range jumper. Yeah. Well, like I said, as long as Yachty's there, we're good. We're going. I can say it with a 7 out of 18 chance that we're going to have an above 500 record.
In that division, I think you guys will definitely break 500. I don't think that should be a problem.
You don't think the Pirates?
I don't think that should be a
problem. It's not the American League East, I'll say that.
Let's see. As far as the Braves, I'll ask you guys nationally. I don't know how I don't know how Matt feels about it. What about this DH now? I'll say go ahead. Then I'll say my piece.
There was a time for me I was adamantly against it.
Yeah,
I thought I love the the thought process that went into what you had to do National League wise with your pitching staff, but hitting situations. I loved all that kind of stuff. I'm to the point now. I'm kind of like, yeah. I mean, it's not going to impact me one way or the other. I used to be, like I said, an adamant no DH guy. Now I'm like, let's just throw the ball out there and see what happens.
All right, Dennis.
Well, there's been several rule changes this year, I think, for the better that they did during those COVID years that were just absolutely ridiculous. But the DH, I can live with that, Robbie, like you. I wasn't for it. But, I mean, the American League has shown that you can bring in a player who does nothing but hit the ball, and you can extend his career. You can give a guy that puts the ball, like you said, Kevin, out of the park or, smashes the ball to second. You can give him another opportunity to not have to play every day. Old knees, old injuries, bring him on. But it can be exciting because that element comes up to the fans. Hey, this one just might be going out of the park. And that's the thing about Freddie Freeman. When he stepped to the plate, it could be a strikeout, but it could be a home run. And a lot of times those home runs were just what you needed to win that game.
Matt, DH, I know you're an American League fan, so I probably hadn't really thought about it at all. Hey.
Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely didn't have a feel passionately about it one way or the other. I do prefer the DH. I'd say I'm more for it than against it.
All right.
I do appreciate the strategy part of it when it comes into play, but then there's times where you've got a pitcher who's just dealing, but it's and that's the strategy part of it too. But sometimes they get pulled, and nowadays I guess you don't see it as much.
Now, with that said, what you just said doesn't even sometimes matter.
Sometimes it doesn't,
because and here's what I don't like about it: the DH. I don't like, as far as they increased the roster size too, so they added 2 more. I want smaller roster sizes because I don't like seeing a different guy throw every inning. I don't like the DHs don't play. To me, a DH is not a baseball player. I can't stand the fact that that I played with a guy at Bessemer, big fat DH. He could hit the ball hard. That's the only thing he could do. He thinks he's a better baseball player than I was. And I played shortstop, center, catcher. I could actually play the game of baseball. He couldn't do nothing but stand there and be fat and hit the ball like David Ortiz. Those guys getting into the Hall of Fame and Edgar Martinez's, when Edgar wasn't a DH, he batted like 230. It was terrible. And now he's a DH and he's batting 300. So those guys, to me, aren't actual baseball players. They're specialists. They're like kickers or punters. So the closers too, all of them. The one in and out of time, the one guy. I want smaller sizes because I love Shohei Ohtani.
But Kevin,
I love the guys that can play. And wouldn't it be better to see the guys, though, Dennis, that can hit and pitch as opposed to just pitch? I would rather the whole roster be like a high school roster where everybody can pitch as opposed to these specialists. And every inning, we got one guy. Isn't it now 99, 99, 99, 99 from the 6th inning on?
Yeah.
And,
but think about
I just don't like that.
You're the manager now, Kevin. You're not the player. You're the manager. And
I'm sure the managers love it. They got 30 players to put in.
You got a kid out on the mound who's, he's doing a good job for you. And now you got to make a decision. Do I let him bat because he can't even bunt the ball? But do I put this guy in that I think can get a single and move our guys around?
You know what you do? You call your general manager and said, you should have signed Shohei Ohtani, somebody that can play real baseball. And that's my feeling.
Well,
it's a different – I just want a completely different game.
Ohtani is literally a one of one. There's nobody else out there doing what he does.
But, Matt, I would guarantee every pitcher in Major League Baseball could stroke it in high school.
The Braves are
does every pitcher you not see in high school, guys?
Yeah,
is he not
absolutely.
The best
They're usually the best.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not like I don't think these boys can't hit. It's that they haven't hit or swung at 90 miles per hour, 95 in 5 years.
But why
it's
does
not
that?
Even close. But I would rather. But my point, I would love the game if it could evolve to a point where you had 20 people, and there was more Shohei Ohtani's and less specialists. You see what I mean? I'd rather have athletes. I'd rather have Terrell Owens than more kickers. You see what I mean? That's why I guess that's what I would see it. But as far as the DHs,
I see your point, Kevin. I remember as like a 15-year-old going up to bat against Billy Champion. He had a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. It changed from me playing against these junior high school guys.
Yeah, it's like a puff of smoke.
I was starting and thought I was pretty good when Billy got to here, you started swinging.
Right.
The bad part was he would throw you that nice little powder puff ball, and then you'd like 3 strikes on that one ball.
Yeah, it's 100% different. But I would just, to me, I like the game to where the guys actually have more, like, just they're baseball players, they're ballers. You know what I mean? Like, just all around. But I know it's not going to ever get to that or ever back to that.
And what you're describing is kind of, I know you're taking it to the extreme with the pitchers hitting, being the best hitters. Adding the DH isn't going to eliminate that because that isn't really a thing. The pitchers that come up to hit in the NL for 90% of the time, they're up there, they strike out, and they sit down.
Well, I think Kevin brings up a legitimate point. Is the pitcher a baseball player, or is he just a pitcher?
I'd say most of them are just a pitcher.
Yeah. And that's what the system makes them.
I guess for me, what it's allowed to do, this is the one thing I'm not a fan of in baseball. I'm not a fan of bullpen games.
Yeah.
And the DH has allowed you to be able to have more bullpen games because you're not having to bat for that pitcher when he's coming up. I think it's made it easier for that, and you're not having to find starting pitchers. You're finding 5 guys that can go that day on the mound. I'm not a fan of that. And like you said, Kevin's a great point. A guy like Fried for the Braves, a great hitter. So if he's in the cage every day and getting consistent hits, maybe he's a 275 hitter. But again, where with a pitcher, are you going to DH that guy like Ohtani when he's not pitching on those days? That's where you got to find where you're going to put those guys because, like you said, Kevin, with the high school deal, just like some of the teams we've done, let's take a Tucker McSwain at Crest. If he's not pitching, he's over on third base. Mm-hmm. And, you're not going to be able to do that. But that's the way it used to be, Robbie. But you're not going to be able to do that with those guys at the major league level. So it's...
All right, so point about pitchers always striking out. Adam Wainwright, strikeout ratio, 2.97. Mike Trout, 3.85.
I knew he was going to jab Mike Trout at some point.
No, it's not just Mike Trout. It's today's baseball.
Well, everybody strikes out.
But
everybody
so much, and we make the point
now
that they're not. And I'm like, there are good hitters, and I know Wainwright is completely different. Wainwright can stroke it. But, again, it's not as bad as it sounds. So Wainwright's a career 193 batting average. I think the lowest...
Sounds pretty bad.
That's 2 out of 5, right?
Well...
That's 2 out of 5 hits. Or no, I mean 1 out of 5 hits. Well, 250 to get you in the Hall of Fame in some points, or 3 out of 10, or 2 out of 10. It's just one extra hit.
That also comes with home runs and doubles that you don't often get from pitchers.
But think about this: it's 3 point, like I said, per at bats, or out of 10, whatever that percentage was. So if Wainwright is getting a hit 2 out of every 10 times, and Mike Trout's or Barry Bonds getting 3 out of 10 times, and you're at a ballpark and you see 4 at bats, you're not seeing that much more. But you are seeing
way more impact.
Right, but I would rather
Trout's
see more talented players as opposed to specialists.
And talking about with the strikeout thing, it's just like everybody talking about the shift and you either change the rule, make the shift illegal, do this, change the game. No, how about you just get a major league hitter that can go the other way?
I hate you saying you can't play defense somewhere. You can't stand there because you're going to hit it there.
Imagine if you tried.
Do you agree?
Imagine if you tried to shift Tony Gwynn or Pete Rose. They're going to hit 750.
Bonds would hit 500. You wouldn't shift them. You couldn't shift them because they put it everywhere. Ichiro wouldn't get shifted.
So why can't they put this? We talk about Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's a 300 batter. They shift him. Why can Freddie Freeman not go the other way into that gap?
I honestly can't believe we're using ghost runners, and that's as far as I'm going to leave it there as that goes. I know some people might like that, but Major League, look, if high school or something, whatever. This is Major League
when
Baseball.
You're playing 7 innings,
and we're using ghost runners. They're getting paid $1 million, and we're using ghost runners. Okay, I'm done with that one. All right, JP, you ready? We come back. We still got Final Four to talk about. 2 games coming up. Kansas, Villanova, North Carolina, Duke. The biggest. Is it, yes or no, across the board if we go to break, the biggest sporting event in North Carolina history? Matt?
Of my lifetime, yeah.
Dennis? Robbie?
For it's going to be hard to top the Panthers going to the Super Bowl. Something like that. I mean, because the NFL
it's not,
is
the
the animal.
Yep.
So that kind of leans me that direction. But
what about a U.S. Open in the state of North Carolina?
No.
Are you telling me that Carolina Panthers going to the Super Bowl is bigger than the? Yeah. I'm saying the biggest thing that's ever happened in the state.
And the reason it is big.
Can't believe y'all just shot down the U.S. Open that quick.
It's just another basketball game. But in this state, it's all the ancillary things. That's the Duke and Carolina stuff.
Now I'm going to say something that's going to make you really mad.
Yeah.
Before we go to break. JP, you ready? This is the first time in the history of the matchup that it's meant a thing. We'll be back in a minute on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Family owned and operated, proudly serving Shelby and the surrounding area with the finest in heating and cooling for your home or business. We're talking about Shelby Heating and Air, and right now they have an exclusive spring special on Carrier, Goodman, and Mitsubishi systems. Get exclusive Shelby Heating and Air discounts of up to $750. Yes, discounts on quality heating and cooling systems of up to $750. Online at ShelbyHeating.com, see their page at WhatsUpShopper.com, and like them on Facebook too. Located at 1990 Eves Road in Shelby. Since 2008, Bennett Insurance Agency in downtown Cherryville has been serving our area with the best in insurance coverage for your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, and personal insurance needs. Kevin and Rocky Bennett are independent agents and will work to get you the best carrier for your insurance needs. For more information, give them a call at 704-435-0270 or drop by their office and let Rocky or Kevin take care of your insurance. Bennett Insurance Agency, 116 West Main Street, downtown Cherryville.
Yeah. What's up, Doc?
The Bunny with the Money is back, and someone will win a $1,000 shopping spree from one of our local area merchants. Register today at Moss Drug on West Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia, Hojo Power Sports and Equipment on Grigg Street in Shelby, at Shelby Meat and Grocery on South Lafayette Street, Shelby, at Pro Wellness Chiropractic Center on Clark Drive in Lincoln, at Eddie's Auto Parts on East Main Street in Lincoln, at Carolina Hardware Garden and Pool Center on the Reedsville Road in Lincoln, at Triad Metal Roofing on Industrial Park Road in Lincoln, and at Carolina Furniture Mart on North Aspen Street in Lincoln. The drawing will be held Friday, April 15th. See store for details. For a complete list of sponsors, go to whatsupshopper.com, and you could be this year's winner of a $1,000 local shopping spree with the Bunny with the Money.
There's nothing like cash in your pocket, especially if you can turn your scrap into cash with the help of Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling in Gastonia. For over 25 years, this locally family-owned and operated business has been giving some of the best prices for scrap. They take tungsten scrap carbide, as well as stainless steel, aluminum, copper, and brass. Need help? Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling will supply you with a roll-off container to help make your recycling easy. Turn your scrap into cash with the help of Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling. 305 Dogwood Street in Gastonia. Call 704-827-9468. Online at GastonUsedAutoPartsAndRecycling.com.
No Shoes Nation, it's time for a celebration. Blue Chair Bayron presents Kenny Chesney with Dan and Shay, Old Dominion, and Carly Pierce. Here and Now Tour 2022, Saturday, April 30th. Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. On sale now with Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Messina Touring Group and AEG presents Fueled by Marathon.
The Cherryville Golf and Country Club is now having a new membership drive. That's right. If you're not a member, now is the time. It is a 9-hole course that will be expanding to an 18-hole in the near future. Every Friday night, the restaurant, it will be serving the best steaks in town, along with ribs and seafood. And the best thing about the restaurant, it is open to the public. Looking to have a wedding reception, the birthday party, corporate event, Cherryville Banquet Room is the best place. Ask Dan about their golf package fundraiser deal. Check their menu out on Facebook. Cherryville Golf and Country Club, 200 Club Drive, Cherryville. Call 704-435-6597.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gangsters.
Classic crew.
Oh, ShelbyHeatingAndAir.com. Shelby Heating. It's ShelbyHeating.com, not Shelby Heating and Air. Shelby Heating and Air. Shelby at ShelbyHeating.com. It's not an and air on the website. Check them out today. $25 customer referrals, $100 off a Infinity Air Purifier. Go to their website, and $200 off complete installation. 704-487-7877.
What's the chance I can say at this time? 15% off programmable thermostat.
Ooh.
There we go.
Well, you were practicing that, weren't you?
You ever considered going pro with this?
I may give it a shot. You never know.
That's how an educator gets through it. Good job, Robbie.
Appreciate
All right, NBA standings. The East has got their 10 set. Put it that way. The West has got 12 alive, and we were just talking a little bit in the break. And LeBron's James is what I call him. And Matt, they're out of the playoffs by one game right now, behind the Spurs. And how do you assess the Lakers or LeBron's tenure so far and this season, and where they going right now as far as
they're not going anywhere right now. I mean,
they're 11-27 on the road.
Yeah, they're bad. As far as his tenure or the whole, I mean, they got a championship out of it, so it's hard to say it's been a complete failure considering where they were before they signed him. But it's all gone off the rails. I have no idea why.
I got a good one for you. No Lakers fan has seen LeBron James play a finals game at home.
That's very true.
He's got 2 first-round exits. We don't know what's about to happen here.
And the
bubble challenge. Well, what did they do in the other?
They missed it the first year.
They missed the playoffs. So missed the playoffs, first-round exit, and now we don't know what they're about to do. And a bubble championship where Anthony Davis got 3 months off.
Yeah, I mean, it's Anthony Davis, his injuries have killed them. And then that was always the concern when they made the trade for him. Last year, they were up. I think they were up 2-1 on the Suns, and then he went out, and it was over after that. Even when he tried to come back for that last game, he just couldn't do it. And then I have no idea why they brought in Russell Westbrook. It was never going to work. It's just a terrible fit. He's not a very good basketball player.
Him and LeBron play pretty much the same game, except LeBron's 6'9".
And LeBron could shoot.
Well, yeah, and Westbrook is, well, you're exactly right as far as being in the mix, is that on the basketball court, you can't have 2 guys that dribble the ball that much and do that. So
Westbrook's just not a very good basketball player. I mean, he's a crazy athlete. He can put up big numbers. He can't shoot. He turns it over all the time, and he doesn't play defense. I mean, he's not a winning basketball player. He's a great athlete who, in his prime, was probably the best athlete in the league, and that's why he's able to put up the numbers he could. But he's just not a winning player. He's played with so many great players and never been able to produce.
My thing with point guards, and here's a stat I always like to use: only 3 point guards in the history of NBA, 3 times total, all the years, has a point guard led the team in scoring and they won the championship. Magic did it once. Isaiah Thomas did it once. Steph Curry did it once. The only 3. So this guard play talk we have, this point guard's this point guard's that. If he's leading your team in scoring or shots, you're probably not going to win. One of the main reasons being is chemistry. I go down the court and I'm a shooter. I don't want to see the point guard not even look my way. I'm not going to cut hard the next time for the 3. If you're a big man, Dennis, is he going to run that floor, run down that middle and chase that if the point guard's pulling jumpers? So as a point guard, you have to be able to feel where or feel exactly what's the best place for your team, when to shoot, when not to shoot, I guess is how I'm trying to put that. And Westbrook has done a terrible job of it. And almost any other shooting point guard they have that trouble of, I'm open, I need to shoot, but it affects everybody. And that's been my thing as far as the shooting point guards, they don't win. So go ahead with that real quick. Final thought on that.
Yeah, I mean, Westbrook, he's just a million miles an hour at all times. He never takes the time to slow things down and get his team in the right position, run a set, when things are going, a little off the rails and you need to calm things down. That's just not who he is. It's not who he's ever been. And he's shown that he's not willing to change. I mean, this would have been the perfect opportunity for him to try and alter his game to be a better team player, playing next to LeBron and Anthony Davis. And he's just the same Russell Westbrook we've always seen, except he's losing a step and his jump shot is completely broken.
Who's the point guard of the Bucks last year?
Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm. Lakers when they won their championship. In the bubble,
probably LeBron, but
well, who's the official on the? Was it Rondo?
He was coming off the bench, but he was playing a good bit.
Yeah, who was the official starter on that? Derek Fisher was he on that one? All right, Toronto Raptors, Kyle Lowry. Then you had Steph Curry, of course. You had some Tony Parker, who was really good. Mario Chalmers won a championship. Derek Fisher won 3.
LeBron was point guard on this team.
And then you get to Chauncey won the MVP. He actually wasn't the leading scorer on that team that won the championship, but he was in the finals. That was Rip Hamilton on that one. Of course, the Bulls, they're champions. Their point guards weren't nothing. Avery Johnson won the first one with San Antonio. So it's not a prerequisite to have a good point guard. When Jordan came in the league and changed it, is you need to have the best scorer. You need to have the best wingman. If you got the best wingman, you got a chance to play every game. And when Gordon Hayward comes back, the Hornets are competitive. Now, got a little stat for those.
If he's himself,
right?
You have to see him.
These are the records of the Charlotte Hornets, and this is going back. You can follow me on the point guard thing. When someone's the leading scorer on the team, you follow me. When Book Knight was the leading scorer, his one game, one shining moment, they won 1-0. Kelly Oubre off the bench when he leads the team in scoring, they're 5-1. Terry Rozier when he leads the team in scoring, they're 13-9. Miles Bridges, they're 12-10. Gordon Hayward, actually, you're talking about how well he's played, that you brought that up. Now, this isn't with him in the lineup. This is him, the leading scorer, 2-4. When the point guard, LaMelo Ball, is the leading scorer, 7-13. It's not that LaMelo can't score. It's not that he can't pass or can't play. It's that point guard leading the way. It's just really tough for the other guys to follow a line and follow in that way. 7-13 when he was the leading scorer. I thought Hayward would be a little bit better, but they actually win more when he's in the lineup. I don't have that one down here, but not when he's the leading scorer. So when he comes in and does his things. Jeez.
The only thing
Isaiah.
The Hornets,
who they got? They're with the Hawks right now, right? Matched up with the Hawks if they play today. Yes. The Hornets will play the Hawks. Go ahead. Well, Hornets right now, if it ended today, Hornets would have the Hawks in a one-game play-in. The winner would play the loser of Tom's Cavaliers and the Brooklyn Nets. The Cavaliers at one point were up in the 2 seed, and they had made the trade. And I politely told Tom, "You're a 5 or 6 seed. Hold in there." And here we are. Now, with that said, Miami, Milwaukee, Boston. I did not see the rise of the Boston Celtics like this, but their wings, again, they've got 2. When they walk on the floor every night, do they not have 2 of the best 3 or 4 wings on the court?
They do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so they're going to compete every night. Everybody's healthy. Miami are fighting each other. Did you like that? Did you see that one, Dennis? Spoelstra is slamming, is throwing his clipboard. That's wild for that. Chicago is 0-13. No, 0-16. I think. Let me make sure I got that. 0-16 versus the top 3 seeds in both conferences.
Yeah, they can't beat good teams.
Overall, they're 13 games over 500. They're 0-16. So that means they're 45-16 against everyone that's not a top 3 seed.
They beat the teams they're supposed to.
Yep.
So they're sitting in the 5 seed. That means they would match up with Philadelphia, which is a good team.
And so that's what's crazy when I look at the standings. 9 games separate 1 through 10 in the East.
It's
30
crazy.
games separate 1 through 10 in the West.
Yes, it's insane.
Right now, I tell you, I take Phoenix or the field in the West. I'm taking Phoenix. You can't play that game in the East. I think there's a legit shot. The top 5 or 6 out of the East could win the East. It's crazy right now.
I agree. Well, what about the 8th seed? What if Brooklyn?
Yeah,
if they get
hot and they're able to get Kyrie back really into that,
they're
offense.
both healthy and playing right now. There's issues, defense, of course.
Yeah,
but are you taking the Raptors over them or the Cavs over Durant?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean,
my biggest issue with them has always been, can you beat Kevin Durant 4 out of 7 times? And it's the same thing with LeBron. You have to beat them 4 out of 7 times. Not you can beat them once, you can beat them twice, but beat them 4 out of 7 times. So out west, do you have any favorite? You said Phoenix is your favorite. Golden State, Memphis. Any bandwidth, Dennis? You on any of those? Dallas.
I don't think you can discount Steph Curry and the Warriors. They've been tested. They've got something to prove, And I think Steph's about to reach that point where if I can get one more championship, it's time for me to become a Hornet.
I hope. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Jordan's going to come out that pocket and overpay.
And I tell you what, speaking of pockets, and the guy that's really building a team is that deal in Memphis.
Oh yeah,
I mean they are.
It's coming.
I mean they're on the
threshold. Like 11 or 12-2 without Morant or something.
Yeah, they're really good without him. Yeah.
He's like he's Derrick Rose to me. He's just so much like Derrick Rose. All right, Terry's favorite player is Draymond Green. It's not a Celtic, but Terry can't. He's a Celtics fan. He can't even name the Celtics coach. So take us what with. He says Draymond's the only reason they ever win. Since despite Steph's injury, Draymond has been carrying the squad. 4.3 points, 4.8 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 33% from the field, minus 50 in the way he's been in the game, and an 0-4 record. Keep it up, Terry.
But he's leading in technical fouls.
He says their leadership is what Terry calls it. He calls it they can't win without his leadership. I wish I had this picture to put up. Anthony Davis, did you see his outfit the other day in his little jean shorts?
Yeah, I did see
that makes, oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say about that. Just the fact Matt knows. And
I was just shocked he played last night. I couldn't believe it.
Almost has to be against the law, that outfit, doesn't it? I did real quick want to mention NBA Hall of Fame did announce George Karl. We're talking Tar Heels Day. Did get in the NBA Hall of Fame announcement. Good for him. Been a long time coach. I believe so too. Pretty good as well. Tim Hardaway, Manu Ginobili, who I'll always contend has had a better career than LeBron James. We'll be back in a minute. JP on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Yes, it's tax time, and maybe you need some relief. And Shelby Heating and Air has a great spring tax relief tune-up special for just $69. Make sure your air condition is ready for the summer heat with a $69 tune-up. They'll do a complete system checkup and change your filters too. You can even book online or call 704-487-7877. Ask for the $69 Spring Tax Relief Special. Shelby Heating and Air, 1990 Eves Road in Shelby. Online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. Here are a few words that describe Creason Roofing of Cherryville. Professional, fast, affordable, and local. So why call anyone else? Creason Roofing is in its third generation with Stephen and Stephanie. They are local, and to prove they mean business, they will beat any reputable competitor's bid by $500, or they will pay you $100. Call for details at 704-400-8805, and you get a lifetime labor warranty. Cherryville's only roofing company is Creason Roofing. Again, call 704-400-8805, online at creasonroofing.com. Like them on Facebook too.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the hits with John Party, who just played the Houston Rodeo.
All in all, it was a great show. The fans were there. It was really loud. And playing rodeo was awesome, but I think I had more fun riding the horse around and waving at everybody.
That's John Party this week on Country Countdown USA.
Wednesday afternoon at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at KDCBroadcasting.com.
For over 60 years, Boyd Tire and Appliance has been serving the Clover and surrounding area with the finest quality of home appliances, televisions, lawn equipment and parts, tires, and more. They feature in-house financing with 90 days same as cash, and they service what they sell. Drop by their showroom at 110 North Main Street in Clover, open 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday. Call 803-222-3231 for Boyd Tire and Appliance and Boyd Lawn and Garden. Online at BoydTireandAppliance.com.
Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes in Cherryville are now carrying greenhouses.
A greenhouse?
No, not a greenhouse. Greenhouses for your vegetables and flowers. Come check them out today. Also, come in now and take 6% off sheds. And ask them about their birthday houses with big discounts. Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes and greenhouses too. 2268 Lincoln Highway 150 East in Cherryville. Online at blessedbuildings-tinyhomes.com and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. Crank up the car and head to Kurt's Premium Outlet in the Eastridge Mall in Gastonia for super duper savings. Take the escalator of savings to the second floor for carry-all bags for just $1.95. All children's clothing 75% off. 8 hatchable puzzle packs, $10. Kurt's Premium Outlet has Hamilton Beach toaster ovens, $38.50. Glass top tables, $88. Baby cribs, $125. Take the escalator of savings to the second floor at Kurt's Premium Outlet, Eastridge Mall on North New Hope Road in Gastonia. Like them on Facebook, too.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the Gangsters. Since they consider themselves the Mafia, I think that's a interesting turn of phrase.
We come back, JP's talking about the Mafia, so we got to get back into what we're
No,
doing.
I was mentioning how the guys call themselves the Mafia.
Who?
The guys in there. They said that we are the new.
Did y'all call yourselves the new Mafia?
We're the classic crew.
Okay, classic crew now.
Whatever.
Y'all need to make up your mind who you gonna be.
All right. Well, Russell Wilson is in Denver.
Yes, sir.
Y'all still got Jalen Hurts. Is that where you're at now, Robbie?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Cleveland's got a new quarterback, maybe. We'll see. And Dennis, Sam Darnold.
You know what I hate about Sam Darnold? We gave up a second and third round draft choice.
Right. This year,
I would love to have this year
that's why
a second and third round.
That's why I believe he's playing this year.
Absolutely.
You're picking. That's your pick this year. Is your second, third round.
And you're
pick.
going to love it. His backup, Cam Newton.
Who knows how that? You think that's how they're going to roll again?
I think what you're going to see
Matt
here,
Rule is just giving up his career with this.
Well, they did that when they traded for Sam Darnold.
This is
all that.
Well, the GM who gave up what they gave up for Sam Darnold, and now that they extended him the first thing. I mean, duh.
Before they ever saw him in practice.
And you're stuck with it. His salary for a quarterback is not that bad unless you have to eat it. And the best thing you could do is eat it. But then who do you put in his place? P.J. Walker? No, I don't think so. Cam?
What is next year's college? Is next year's quarterback class supposed to be good?
I think that's where
2 stars.
Are we tanking?
If I'm the
or seeing
GM
if
right
Darnold
now,
does good /
that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm going through the prospects for next year, and I'm going to take that 6th pick, and I'm either going to get Neal, get me a tackle over there that I can depend on, or I'm going to trade down and try to get me a 2nd round quarterback. And don't laugh, somebody like the kid out of Mississippi or Sam Howell or somebody that can, potentially be a backup later on until I get that franchise quarterback. But they've got to have more spots and more depth. I can't go, I like Pickett, but will Pickett be a bust?
Yes.
We'll see. I don't want him to be a Panther bust.
I predict Trevor Lawrence to be a bust, and I'm righter than anyone else is right now on that one.
Yeah.
The Kenny Pickett is, and I'll tell you why. It is the hand situation. He will have the smallest hands in the NFL, and it's all about bad weather grip. If you get him in a dome and somewhere like that where he can play inside and good weather, he may be able to survive depending on his accuracy. If he goes somewhere bad weather, no, I don't want nothing to do with him. He's already wearing gloves. That means he's already acknowledging that he can't grip the ball. So without even talking to him, without even measuring his hand, you're wearing gloves, you can't grip the ball. Oh, now you got small hands? I want to see your hand pressure. It's all about it's not that the big hands guarantee you can throw it. It's the bad weather stuff. I promise you, I can't grip an NFL ball. I don't have NFL hands. I can sling a college football. I can't even almost grip it. I throw like a little girl with NFL football because I can't grip it.
How many times, though, Kevin, in a game, and I'm not knocking the hands as being the total thing.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm just saying just grip-wise.
Muggsy Bogues played point guard. Duh. But the small hands become a factor. What do you see today from the defensive linemen? What are they doing? They're swiping at the ball.
Oh, yeah.
They're swiping at the ball, knocking it out of your hands. And you've got 3rd down and 2 yards to go, and the next thing you know, it's their ball going that way.
Well, looking at the divisions, we'll start with Matt's division here, the AFC West. A little tough.
It's the AL East of the NFL.
So, got a lot of chokers in your division. You're pretty good. Got a lot
of talent.
A lot of chokers too. Kansas City, Vegas, Chargers, and Broncos. Do all 4 of them make the playoffs?
No. No, the Raiders won't make the playoffs.
Okay.
Now,
historically, half the teams don't make the playoffs, but it's been 6. So it's been 3, so
7 now.
3.5 teams. Or if you want to take one from each and do the real math on it, we'll do 7. But yeah, some of these teams aren't going to make it.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. There's
so
legitimately 10 really good teams in the AFC.
So but do they win the Super Bowl?
Are the Broncos the favorites now
In the West?
You
No,
think so?
I think it's still the Chiefs until somebody knocks them off. I'll give that. We haven't beaten them since the year we won the Super Bowl, so I can't really say a whole lot.
You
about
did have
Chiefs.
the second best defense in the AFC last year. So
Oh yeah,
that's
I'm
something.
very
No, third
excited
best,
about
third
this
best.
Broncos team. I think we are definitely better than the Chargers and the Raiders.
Okay.
And then we gotta prove we're better than the Chiefs before I'll boast about it.
Let's see. We'll go over to Rob's in the NFC East. Robbie, how do you handicap the East right now?
I mean, it's Dallas. That's the good thing about the East. There's 2 winnable games there with Washington and the Giants. So you split with Dallas, and you're in great shape to finish high in the division.
Now Dallas was 12-5 last year. Washington 7-10. Dallas lost a lot of people. Haven't added anybody. Washington added a quarterback. Do they come close?
Is that what he is?
Do they come closer?
Back up. They added a quarterback,
Yes.
or they got somebody to fill the quarterback spot.
They added a quarterback.
That's how we want to qualify him.
What's wrong with Carson Wentz?
I think Carson has proved his worth.
Well, Robbie being an
Across the
Eagles
board.
fan can tell you about that.
And that is with me having a Carson Wentz jersey hanging in the closet at the house. Carson Wentz has proven his worth. Now through 2 franchises, it's going to happen the same thing in Washington.
So Carson got you to a Super Bowl. Last year,
Got him to the playoffs.
Last year,
I was about to say,
right.
Again, you put Nick Foles behind that team, and for the full season, I think the same thing happens.
Last year, he had 27 touchdowns, 7 picks.
And when the lights got brightest, he melted like an ice cube on a sidewalk.
No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that the Washington Commanders added a quarterback who threw 27 touchdowns and only had 7 picks. Do you want to look what their quarterback did last year?
I agree. They've upgraded over Taylor Heineke.
No,
I'll give them
You
that.
can't argue that.
I'll give them that.
So let's say passing-wise last year, their quarterbacks had 21 touchdowns and 15 picks. So that alone, cutting the picks in half and adding 6 scores, that's half the season, 1 touchdown a game, or third of the season. So, yeah, they got 7 wins last year with Tyler Heineke.
So let's put it like this: I heard that
Is 9 wins not a legitimate expectation for them then?
If they were an automobile, they just got the larger 4-cylinder engine.
Yeah, I heard that they offered Seattle a better package than Denver for Russell Wilson, but he didn't want to play there.
Right.
So just look at it from thinking you could maybe get Russell Wilson to now your quarterback is Carson Wentz. I get that it's an upgrade over Taylor Heineke.
Right. It's an upgrade, 100%.
But they draft a rookie, but he's still a rookie, and now he's got to become accustomed to the league and learn the playbook and adapt to the players.
As a fan of a team who's done the stopgap quarterback thing for like the last 5 years running, it's not taking you anywhere. You might compete for second in the NFC East with Carson Wentz, and maybe you could steal a wild card and lose in the first game. But it's just not a spot that you really want to be.
Hey, by the way, are you guys interested in Darnold maybe as a backup?
I mean, if you guys pay for him like you did Teddy, maybe we'll bring him in.
NFC South, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, who's coaching Tampa Bay?
Todd Bowles.
Yes.
New Orleans. Who did they sign? Did they re-sign Jameis?
Yeah, they brought Jameis.
Yeah.
Atlanta's got Mariota, and the Panthers again. Sam Darnold. Is there anybody give any competition to the Bucks?
No.
All right.
Maybe if Sam Darnold could be hypnotized and transferred.
All right, we'll jump over to the AFC South. Titans, Colts, Texans, and Jaguars. Dennis, I'll let you stay in the South on this one.
Yeah. I've got to look at Indianapolis. They have everything they needed but a quarterback. And I as much as I disliked Atlanta because of the rivalry, and let's face it, that Super Bowl score, I got to say that Ryan could make a big difference in Indianapolis. It was time for him to get out of Atlanta. It was still toxic hangover from the Super Bowl.
So you got them as the favorites?
In that division, yes.
All right. So Dennis goes with the Colts over the Tennessee Titans, and I have no idea who's playing quarterback for the Houston Texans. And
Davis Mills.
I proposed, and they all yelled at me when I did that last week, that the Jacksonville Jaguars should try to get Baker Mayfield because Trevor Lawrence is a bust.
Well,
and they shot
so
me down on that one. Would you not want 2 number 1 picks on your roster? Play it out.
Let them battle it
Dallas
out.
did that one time.
Why don't the Panthers
Dallas
go get
did that one time, and it brought 3 Super Bowls out of it, if you remember. And technically, Kansas City did it with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes, and then turned around and won a Super Bowl. I don't have a problem adding putting talent on your roster if you can like
competition.
That. If you can get Baker for nothing and Jacksonville, I don't know. I think that's a good spot.
The reports are that Cleveland doesn't want nothing, though. They want a second round pick,
picks, right.
which is they're definitely not getting that.
At this point,
it's a good thing we don't have a second round pick.
We talked last week about how the what people want for these guys are so random. You could have 2 guys, the exact same player, and one you have to give up 4 first rounds for, and the other you get a 5th round. You know, Amari Cooper, 5th round pick. Nobody in the league is going to pick a 5th round pick that's going to have the stats he does this year. It's not even going to be close. And we have a 5th rounder here.
But look at what Cleveland gave up for Deshaun Watson. 3 first round picks.
Here's the thing that's happened with this Cleveland deal and Watson is changed the price structure of players in the NFL.
They put the screws to the Baltimore Ravens.
and what you're going to see happen,
he's got to negotiate after this year.
Now the quarterbacks are going to say we want ours.
Right.
Well, now where's the money going for that offensive line that you need to protect him? Now the middle linebackers are going to say, wait a minute, we got a top-ranked defense here. You're going to get to the point where you're going to have 3 or 4 guys you're paying, and you better win a Super Bowl with a bunch of rookie contracts.
That's why Donald is going to be the quarterback in Carolina this year. But, Robbie, think about this. Think how much love the owners have for Haslam and the Cleveland Browns because Deshaun Watson's contract is guaranteed. And unlike the NBA and Major League Baseball, in the NFL, when you guarantee the money, I mean, it's like if Kevin here had to go back and write me a check for next year's radio broadcast, and put it in the bank today, that's money he doesn't have to spend.
Yeah, historically, NFL has not been guaranteed. Major League Baseball's, I think for the most part, are. NBA's are because those guys don't do nothing.
Major League Baseball is too. That's why Bobby Bonilla still gets paid. By the
Actually, King Griffey Jr. now. Did you see that?
That's right. Yeah,
Griffey's like 3rd on the Reds roster in payroll right now. All right, AFC North, your favorites over there. Like I said, new winners every year. This division had 4 teams divided by 2 games total. We don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for the Browns. Lamar in Baltimore. Real quick on the running quarterback thing, I saw a good stat on this the other day. I think Emmanuel Ancho brought it up. It's not necessarily it's about the ratio, not whether they can run. No quarterback in NFL history, including Russell Wilson and Steve Young, have ever won a Super Bowl with a less than 7-to-1 passing yards to rushing yard ratio. Tebow, Lamar, all of those guys, and Randall Cunningham ran around the 4s and 5s range. Randall's a little bit higher because he could sling a little bit. He could throw a little bit better. But the rest of those guys, the runners, when they're hanging, do your math on it, just look at your stats. You see the running. 7-1 is the magic number. So I think Russell's evolved past that. Anyway, he's too old to be running around crazy like that. So who's guys your favorite in the North? Yeah, go ahead, Dennis.
Well, the question with the Ravens is,
who's Pittsburgh? Oh, Trubisky.
Who's his agent? Oh, wait a minute. He's his own agent. And what does he tell him? I don't want to talk about a contract. I just want to, basically, he says what I'm doing. We heard the term, he's betting on himself. Yeah. He's playing out his contract, hoping to hit the big payola
hit the market
payday. And the Ravens are going, we want to pay him now.
Do we flip a coin this division, Robbie?
I still like Burrow with Cincinnati.
That's Dennis? What I was going to say.
Y'all going chalk on that one. If Watson plays, Browns win. If he only plays half of it, they don't.
It depends on the judge.
We don't want to. We have to run an NC State quarterback out there, and that's never good for him. Russell doesn't qualify anymore. I forgot.
He was Wisconsin quarterback.
He denounced the state. They ran him out of Raleigh. Right. AFC East, real quick: Buffalo and Patriots and Miami. Who's your favorite, Matt?
Buffalo.
2 games separating Buffalo and the Miami Dolphins. A lot of people wouldn't.
I like Miami better than New England.
I do too right now.
Yeah, I like Miami better than New England.
I think Miami's got a case of too many stars right now. So I'm going to go with Buffalo on the team being better than the Miami team.
I'm going to show you guys why I believe Tua will be a bust as well as always.
He's not already?
He may be, but I said this from the beginning. The same thing with Trevor Lawrence. Not the exact thing, but my thing was Tua. And this is really petty. You ready for this, Matt? Have I showed you this before?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's because his offhand is the Scary Movie Butler's hand.
It doesn't look great.
Have y'all ever seen any other quarterback ever do that? Ever? Matt, you'll never unsee that now, will you? You'll never unsee that.
Does
you guys
Trevor
are
Lawrence
welcome.
do it too?
No,
No.
Trevor Lawrence. My reasoning on him, and you're gonna laugh at me on this one probably too, and this is old school really on him. Is
hair's too long?
Yes. and honestly, and this is the reason. How big are the gentlemen in an NFL huddle?
Huge.
Big men.
Mm-hmm.
How many 6'5", 300-pound men want to be told to do by a guy who combs his hair and does this with his blonde fly? Would you guys please block for me? I don't want to mess up my ponytail. That's not a leader of men.
It'll help if he starts throwing touchdown passes.
Right, it was like 7 touchdowns and 15 picks or something
Just
bad.
don't call him Samson.
Honestly, that's been my thing from the start. If he cuts it short, I might jump back on it. But seriously, I'm serious. Like you're gonna walk in the huddle and tell Steve Smith what to do. Really? If Steve Smith's in that huddle, you think he's walking there to stand? You better run the comebacker right next time. Okay.
I don't think any quarterback needs to talk to Steve Smith like that.
Well, let's stir the pot a little bit. Name me a really good Clemson quarterback that's done well in the pros.
Well, Deshaun Watson's done well until he started going to the massage parlors that Bob Kraft told him to. But look at this. Tell me that's not the same. Scary movie, Tua. Scary movie, Tua. That's why they're not winning.
It's a prove it year for Tua because he's got everything he needs now. If he can't get it done with what they've added for him around him, we know all we need to know about Tua.
All right, so nobody's got Tua to win, or nobody's got the Jets. No. That's Tua Tagovailoa. That's his yearbook picture right there. I'm serious. That drives me nuts.
Hey, exciting news for Eagles fans.
Go ahead.
Kelly Green uniforms and helmets, throwbacks
I
coming
love
back
it.
this year.
I love it. I love it. I don't hate the dark green. I hate the dark green with the black. They blend too much together. That's why. I could deal with the dark green on the white and the silver and the gray. That looks fine. But I love the Kelly Green, the Reggie Whites, and the Randall Cunninghams.
It's about time.
Maybe they should put some yellow in there, Robbie.
Well,
green and
hurt.
yellow.
Well,
All right, 2 more divisions. NFC North, Packers and Vikings. I guess are the favorites. Anybody feel anything on the Bears and Lions, or can the Kirk Cousins and the Vikings overtake? Well, right now it's Aaron Rodgers in the well, they don't have pool boys in Green Bay, but the snow plowers. There's nobody else left to play
That's
with.
it. Yep.
I still think they're better than the Vikings.
Yeah.
I still take them to win that division.
Can Aaron throw it to himself?
Are they the smell? Are you saying they're the smelliest turd in the toilet bowl?
That's one way to put it.
It's pretty bad.
Out west. All right, here we go. Who's playing quarterback for the Seahawks, or are they tanking? We don't know.
It's Drew Lock, right?
Who's playing quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers? We don't know.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Who started last year? Who got them to the playoffs?
He's still on the roster.
The guy,
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G
will be the starting quarterback in San Francisco. The new kid is the new kid.
Arizona seems to have a little turmoil in the house out there between contracts and players and coaches and this and that.
I'll just mention it. Murray and the whole Cardinal organization are at.
Yeah, he's tied to the coach, so that's and they got the same agent, and all, so there's a lot of. And then you got to think,
both gone.
Right? If you're another player on, if you're a player on that team and not their agent or something, you're going to have maybe some mixed feelings on how you're being treated or other way. So, I would look to them to catch on fire and not do well. The Rams at 12-5, they're going to continue their ways.
think so. We're going through this exercise, and I'm feeling a little too chalky in the NFC. So there's going to be a surprise somewhere. I'm just trying to figure out where it's coming from. But I don't know. The Rams seem like the logical pick in that division. But, I mean, the Cardinals and 49ers, both very good.
I just want to know who's playing for the 49ers. I don't really care. I just want to know who's playing. They'll have a good team, I think, either way. I've been a Trey Lance fan.
I think the question with the Rams is, you get a ring, do you get fat?
Yeah.
You know, there's always a Super Bowl hangover.
Yep.
All right, folks, we'll be back in a minute, and it's now time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you can't say that at Disney World anymore, by the way.
No.
We'll be back in a few moments for North Carolina, Duke, Kansas, Villanova, and the biggest night in the history of the state of North Carolina since maybe the Civil War. We'll be back, KDCBroadcasting.com. Here's a picture of two of them.
Family owned and operated, proudly serving Shelby and the surrounding area with the finest in heating and cooling for your home or business. We're talking about Shelby Heating and Air, and right now they have an exclusive spring special on Carrier, Goodman, and Mitsubishi systems. Get exclusive Shelby Heating and Air discounts of up to $750. Yes, discounts on quality heating and cooling systems of up to $750. Online at shelbyheating.com, see their page at whatsupshopper.com, and like them on Facebook too. Located at 1990 Eves Road in Shelby. Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes in Cherryville are now carrying greenhouses.
A greenhouse?
No, not a greenhouse. Greenhouses for your vegetables and flowers. Come check them out today. Also, come in now and take 6% off sheds. And ask them about their birthday houses with big discounts. Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes and greenhouses too. 2268 Lincoln Highway 150 East in Cherryville. Online at blessedbuildings-tinyhomes.com and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. The truck man at Iconic Motors of Shelby has done it again. Another big week of new arrivals, including a 2021 Ram 3500 Laramie, a 2015 Toyota Tacoma, a 2019 Honda Ridgeline, and a 2019 Chevy Silverado LTZ. Come see for yourself. See the truck man today at Iconic Motors of Shelby, where you get pre-approved in seconds. Located at 325 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. See their inventory online at iconicmotorcompanyofshelby.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com. Like them on Facebook too. Crank up the car and head to Kurt's Premium Outlet in the Eastridge Mall in Gastonia for super duper savings. Take the escalator of savings to the second floor for carry-all bags for just $1.95. All children's clothing 75% off. 8 hatchable puzzle packs, $10. Kurt's Premium Outlet is Hamilton Beach toaster ovens, $38.50. Glass top tables, $88. Baby cribs, $125. Take the escalator of savings to the second floor at Kurt's Premium Outlet, Eastridge Mall on North New Hope Road in Gastonia. Like them on Facebook too.
Check out the new arrivals this week at Cars, Trucks, and Credit in Lincoln. Like a 2003 Honda Accord at $999 down, a 2006 Jeep Liberty at $1299 down, a 2004 Ford Expedition $1499 down, and a 2008 Ford Edge at $1999 down. That's Cars, Trucks, and Credit, 604 Clark Drive in Lincoln. Online at ctcautosports.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com.
This radio ad is worth $500. Now that's madness. Madness in March at Classic Volkswagen in Gastonia. Mention this radio ad upon arrival and take $500 off any pre-owned vehicle. Come see their great selection today and immediately save $500 by just mentioning this radio ad. It's madness this month at Classic Volkswagen of Gastonia, 4417 Wilkinson Boulevard. Online at classicvwgastonia.com and see their page at whatsupshopper.com.
Oh, and we're back with Kevin and the Classic crew. I was wondering what he... That's kind of disturbing picture.
Hey, welcome back. Saturday Morning Sports Talk. I got a special. We got to get to kick off Duke of Carolina. Todd, have you seen this, Robbie?
I have not seen this.
Have you not seen this? So our good friend Gerald Weathers is a big Duke fan, to say. And Matt, we've got some new software in the office, and my intern, he knows how to use it, and we've had a little fun here. So,
that's not real?
For the people listening on the radio, it appears to be Gerald Weathers in a Tar Heel cheerleading outfit, standing in the Ding Dome.
Female outfit.
Well, yeah. We don't. Well, I don't. How do you do that now? All right.
I'm not a biologist. I cannot answer that question.
Perfect response. How do they determine the outfits now? All right. He's in a skirt. Put it that way. How about this? All right, Matt. Now turn our mics off and hit the computer.
I'm a Tar Heel boy, I'm a Tar Heel bred, and when I die, we're Tar Heel dead. So rock, rock, Carolina, rock, Carolina, rock, Carolina, go to hell, Duke. I'm a Tar Heel born, I'm a Tar Heel bred. The day I die, be a Tar Heel dead. Go, Heels, go.
That was not photoshopped either.
I like the arm movements. The arm movements were pretty good with it.
Gerald
That was
always
nice.
had some good moves.
So, well, as far as the arm movements go, it's supposed to track the body, and the computer we were doing it on isn't that fast, so it was having trouble tracking the body, so we had to move those individually. So that's why that looks like that. But it ends up being funny and a good time. Gerald, we love you. We're sorry. You know, whatever. It's hilarious. If Carolina wins tonight, there'll be more fun next week. If they don't, you'll never hear from us again.
Or us either.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Saturday Morning Sports Talk. It's Tar Heels and Duke time, the biggest day in the history of this state, maybe in my opinion, ever at some point. Besides maybe, you know.
Oh, we are the center of college basketball, according to Roy Cooper.
Well, according to the basketball experts out there this season, the ACC's been terrible. And the Big Ten have been awesome.
They only had two teams in the Final Four.
Right. So my thing, Matt and Robbie and Dennis, if knew the show or whatever, I'm not that big of a fan as the college as I am in the pros. Then one of the main reasons is the whole rankings system. We're all about opinions. As a lot of times we do what we think as opposed to what we've earned. Did Wake Forest earn by being the 5th in the ACC, or did the 9th Big Ten team earn their way, or did they put them in because we think? Same thing that happens in football all the time with the voting. That stuff just drives me crazy. So again, we get to the tournament this year in the ACC. Was it 4 teams got in? 5. And they got Big Ten having 9. And we used to have, 8 or 9 teams in the conference, and we would get 5 or 6 in. Now we got 16 and can't even get 5. Like, come on now. How does it something didn't add up.
9 teams get in. I think, one team got out of the first weekend?
How many of them were also Austin? How many were ranked before the tournament? One?
Just one, just Duke. Yeah.
Just Duke
so how often do you have a Carolina team under 10 under 10 losses, not even ranked? It used to be that's top 15. If your 5 losses or less, you're in the top 5. Mm-hmm. Now it's, well, we don't think you're even top 25, and here we are in the Final Four. So, Matt.
That's the problem is so much of the opinion of college basketball teams is formed in November and December when conferences are playing against each other. And
by people who are not from North Carolina.
Right. And so the ACC, it didn't look good in non-conference, lost a lot of games, Carolina included. But, basketball teams improve over the course of a season.
Yeah.
And so it's like the ACC was just dismissed in December. And so since they were playing bad in the first couple months and all they're doing is playing bad teams in the ACC, they're not going to get any better. So it's just a backwards way of doing it.
Well, I think that brings up the imminent question. If you win the NIT, are you really the 66th best team in the nation?
No.
Well,
no.
And what you got happening now, too, is, just like with the Big Ten, CBS is going to push the Big Ten endlessly. One of the greatest stats I saw after the first round of the playoffs, they said, or the tournament, the first Thursday, they go, the Big Ten is back. They were like 4-1.
They're back.
And
in
then
the
they
Big
don't
Ten.
get and the same thing with the SEC. They're kind of they're kind of the ESPN's boys right now.
Yeah.
So the ACC's you're in a bad situation because you've got 2 media conglomerates that are really wanting those teams in there in the place. And again, a team like Wake Forest, who when the season started, nobody thought anything about them. So they didn't have a shot to find the top 25 as it was. and then they start slipping a little bit, well, then they don't have a shot at all. Like you said, it's all semantics, and it's all about who was where and who's being backed by
I've
who.
had a problem with the tournament expanding. I know they want more games, more excitement, more upsets to talk about. But at the end of the day, who's in the Final Four? We got 4 blue bloods, actually 4 blue teams. And Carolina is an 8th seed. I don't think anybody here thought they should have been that low. I don't think they. I thought they should have been a top 25 team, so 6th seed or 5.
If you'd
somewhere
asked
in
me
that
after
area.
the Pittsburgh game, I wouldn't have put them 8.
Right.
And before we get into the breakdown of that, how beautiful is it that Duke, Carolina, Kansas are all in the Final Four and no Kentucky?
Oh, yeah.
And no Roy Williams.
They're hating it.
There's no Roy Williams. No Kansas and Carolina.
The 4th
no
blue
Roy
blood is sitting at the house.
Roy will be there.
Villanova's been more successful now. About everybody.
They're the
lately,
new
so
blue blood.
They are.
And the thing is, if it were to come down, I'm just saying, Robbie, if it were to come down to Villanova and Carolina, the revenge factor for remember that last second shot that cost us.
So as far as in the expanding of the tournament now, when they go to the 68, they're playing in not to be actually the 16 seed.
Right.
So that's just weird to the mathematicians out there.
Yep.
And then so you do that. So I said last week, so those the lowest rated teams ever won is Villanova 8th. Okay.
Yeah.
Carolina's 8th this year. I even said before this tournament started, I don't think there should be more than 32 teams in the tournament because in football we argue we only want the 4 because we want the best teams. So in basketball, we'll let everybody in.
Well, why don't we just declare Duke and Carolina and Kansas and Villanova permanent occupants?
What if you had a cap per se, a percentage cap on how many teams can actually get in the tournament based on your every league? You have 25%, no more than 25%.
To me, the biggest change that needs to happen tournament wise is regular season champion gets the automatic bid.
I agree with
not
that
the tournament.
for sure.
Well, the ACC entries into this Final Four can be determined like the old saying, here, hold my beer. Watch what's happening now.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, we've been there, we've done that. We'll eat my dust, boys.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
All right, so here's how we got here real quick. Duke beat Cal State Fullerton in the first round 78-61, then Michigan State 85-76, Texas Tech 78-73, and the Arkansas Razorbacks 78-69. The Tar Heels took out Marquette in the first round 95-63, Baylor 93-86, UCLA 73-66, and the St. Peter's Peacocks 69-49, setting up this tonight's matchup at 7:30 here on KTC. We will have both games.
is John
on
Wooden
KTC.
still coaching UCLA?
No.
They're irrelevant. USC, Oregon, Southern Cal, all those schools go back to play football or baseball or soccer or women's lacrosse or something. Basketball ain't your thing, boys.
Well, Matt,
send those cards and letters to Robbie Root.
So another question I have, Vegas always perplexes me with these. Carolina won, last time they played, Carolina won.
Yeah.
On the road in Duke's house.
But the time before.
Now it's in a neutral site and Duke's favored.
I mean, that's all based on where the money's coming in.
Right. I understand
Vegas
that.
wants equal money on both sides.
Get that. But that's just what it happens on these NFL games or college games a lot. And you sit there looking at this like, how? Why? They just won. So why are they favored? And so will you tell me why is Duke favored?
I think
over
even
North
though
Carolina in this game,
even with Carolina winning that game at Cameron, it still feels like the consensus from most everybody is that Duke is the better team.
Who won more convincingly between the two teams?
Duke.
Well, let's face it.
They won by 20.
That one game. They pretty dominated that game in Chapel Hill.
As somebody I heard this week said, you have 5 future NBA first-round choices on the Duke team, and you don't have that on Carolina.
No. I've only seen, of all the analysts, I think I've only seen one pick Carolina outright, and that was Seth Greenberg.
Yeah.
I haven't seen all of them, obviously. I'm sure there's a couple others.
Shannon picked Tar Heels.
Shannon Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
he's a Denver Bronco
fan,
right there.
I thought Greenberg went
he
with
sits
you
there and
because
says LeBron's better than Michael, and then he'll turn around and beg Michael for Tar Heels tickets in the same back-to-back sentence. Come on, he's like, I'm a Heels fan. Go, Michael. I'm like,
that's a Denver Broncos legend right there,
Michael's
Shannon
like,
Sharp.
Go ahead. Sorry to get back to where y'all are.
But
y'all remember where you were?
Oh, we're right here.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know. Duke is the more talented team. Obviously, there's kind of the team of destiny vibe going around right now with it being K's last run, and here they are
sweet to beat him at now.
Oh yeah,
it's like I heard him say though. What has really been well for Carolina is their outside shot has really been falling here in the tournament.
Yeah,
the depth perception of the outside shot changes greatly when you move into these dome stadiums, and that's one thing I heard or talked about this week is it takes a while to adjust to that. If those outside shots aren't falling for Carolina, and especially
but before you continue with that, Carolina already plays in a big arena.
Yeah, but not like this.
Not the Superdome.
No. Listen, I 100% what you're saying. When we went in the playoffs in high school, we went to the bigger gyms. You're 100% right on the depth perception. It takes you you have to warm up a little bit longer. You'll figure it out in a few minutes. But these guys, the Dean Smith Center, the depth perception is, I've been on the court and played. It's the same as one of these. Here's the difference. You can't see it. So in high school, you can see the back wall, right? And you can see the ceiling. So when you go to one of these gyms, you can't. You're seeing the stands. So the biggest difference is, Cameron and those smaller ones may have an issue. I don't think the North Carolinas and the Kansas and these big ones that have these big, I don't think it affects them as much. But you're 100% right, though. I do want to say that as far as the depth perception completely affects the shooters. Now, Caleb Love is going to shoot it, don't matter where the goal is at.
Right, he's pulling.
You can put it in the 10th row. He's pulling it, and I've watched 2 games this year, and one was earlier in the season. I don't even remember that one. I watched the other night where he thought that he had a green light as long as he was touching the basketball, and that scares the pee out of me. His shot selection is awful.
Okay.
Manic can't guard anybody in this room. Everybody in this room can score on him.
He competes.
I didn't say he couldn't score on us. I'm saying everyone in this room, if you had a chance, could score on Manic.
He got the stop at the end of the UCLA game.
He did have a good block.
And what was the best change Carolina made in that game in Cameron was Manic guarding Banchero.
Yeah.
You know, they made that change.
But fellas,
what I'm going to say about that one real quick, about Manic. Every person, it was the UCLA game. Every person UCLA gave him the ball in front of, turned around and scored on him.
Except at the end,
right,
when Carolina was up and Jaquez tried to drive on him and he stayed in front of him and got the stop.
I love watching Teen Wolf shoot the ball. He can shoot.
He can shoot the heck out of the
Teen
ball.
Wolf can shoot. Well, we better not call him Teen Wolf now. He's only like 32 or something.
Yeah, he's an old man now. Middle-aged wolf out there.
Been around a few
He's
years.
not Teen Wolf anymore. But Baycock does control the middle. He has set record after record in North Carolina for rebounds and double-doubles, and then people don't even realize he's going by Hansbrough and Worthy.
That's the thing that scares me.
So the Tar Heels' number one issue for me watching and listening, like I said, I don't watch them all, is that they're foul trouble. Is they're dead. They got 5 dudes, and they get foul trouble every game. They get foul trouble every game that I've listened to.
We'll go back to, you guys remember Hoosiers when they go into the big arena there, and the guy says, get the tape measure. How far is it to here? How high is the goal? Yeah, from that standpoint, they're going to be playing with the 10-foot basket, and it's going to be a bigger arena. I having played and coached in those bigger arenas, it's different if you're used to playing in little bandboxes. These guys aren't. They're used to playing in the big arenas, and so they adapt quicker. Now, if you were having St. Peter's playing in the Superdome, they're going, wow, I can't believe this. Whereas the Carolinas and the Dukes and the Kansases and the Villanovas, hey, we got another one here. This is not as big as such and such place.
Robbie, did you know that it had been 16 years since Duke had last won a regular season outright championship?
Yep.
A lot of people you couldn't say that to, and they'd believe. Nobody in ESPN you could say that to. And you could win a lot of money calling reporters at ESPN and betting them that because they love Coach K. Vitale leads that chart, leads that parade, but the rest of them do too. But I just thought that was an outstanding thing. They shared it in 2010 with Maryland, but 2006 was the last time Duke won it outright. Now tournament champions, they win them. And that's Coach K's been in his strategy as far as and also playing is that he doesn't like going on the road. He really doesn't. So he plays all your away games your away games are neutral site games,
Neutral site
for
games.
tournament games, which is the strategy. So then you look at it, regular season games in the ACC, he has to play on the road, doesn't win the championship. ACC tournament, neutral sites, we're playing together, we're winning a lot of those. So that's been the strategy. With that, them coming in tonight, I'm trying to look at all this stuff. What do you see as far as Duke, as far as they need to do to keep Carolina from winning, or what's your most fear as far as the Heels?
Again, I think how well they defend, and they've really increased. I go back to that the game in Cameron, and to me, watching that game, I saw a young team overwhelmed by the situation.
Yeah,
yeah, and I blame, and I'll be honest, I blame Coach K a lot for that. Because he built it, I think it got built to a point.
It's all about me.
Yeah, it really was, and those kids couldn't handle that. So I think when he backed up, and he even talked about, he said they get longer now. Get the tournament, you get 5 extra minutes during halftime. He said so for those first 5 minutes, he said we just get out the chair and talk. He said it's no long, we've changed the way we've approached it, and it's changed the way the kids have approached the game. If Duke can defend the way they have been defending in the tournament. And for me, offensively, after Texas Tech and Arkansas, it's a little bit of a break playing Carolina's defense. I mean, they're not bringing to the table what those two teams did.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, I think you got to, definitely have a chance to win the game. But again, it's kind of get up on them, stay up on them, because just like the game in Cameron, you had the lead, you let them back, and once that got going downhill, it became a avalanche that was too hard to get in front of.
Here's my question, and where you're going with this, and you're talking about. I don't want to say that they're feeling too much of the pressure, but let's say it does factor in. One thing that they might think about, or people might say, in this tournament so far, they've beaten these teams, but none of those teams have beaten them before. They know they can lose this game. They know they've already lost this game, a high-pressure game, to this team with Coach K being his last game in Cameron.
That's what I was fixing to say.
Is that at all? Is that something you may be worried about? Is that at all in the back of their heads? I mean, if this is his last game, if we lose, we can't lose this. And of the Tar Heels, like the pressure to me, honestly, and just being a Tar Heel fan, just say whether or not it is, it's got to be, to me, it has to be in their heads knowing the last time we played, they beat us. All that has to be. They beat us at home. We were supposed to protect Kays, and he didn't. We pissed him off. He's out here yelling at the crowd, and then now we're here in the Final Four. And they know they can beat them because they have. But again, the last time they played, it was such a heartbreaking thing. That's different than playing Kansas in the national championship game or whoever they played in the game before.
My question there is, how much have they grown up in this tournament from that?
Yeah.
Do they use it as a too much weight on me situation, or does it become a motivator and they play their best game?
Yeah,
because
nobody knows until tonight.
Exactly.
But here's the question: You're the center on the Duke team. I've forgotten his name.
Mark Williams.
Williams. The game is tied. There's 15 seconds to go. You're fouled. You step up to the free throw line. Oh, what? This is Coach K's last game. If I miss this one, let's say I'm down 1 instead of being tied. Is there pressure on me? You better believe there's some pressure on you. And you can be the hero or the GOAT here in this case. But, I'll go back to what Kevin was talking about. Pre-game speech at Cameron. I think you're right. Coach K, whether it was him or the outside influences at ESPN, all his buddies, the pressure was on those kids. We can't lose. Well, we can't lose because we beat them by 20 over in Chapel Hill. You're Hubert Davis. What do you tell the team? Hey, we already got our tail beat. Just go out there and relax and play ball. It's just another game. So we get beat by 20 points. It's just another, loss. So they went out relaxed. And they were able to hit those shots. And they were able to do the things. This is a different situation, Robbie. You know it. I know it. All the fans on both sides know this ain't Cameron. This is not the Smith Center. This is the Superdome, and it's in the Final Four. That's why people are tuning in and listening. Those people outside, they're just tuning in to watch a good game. The people in North Carolina, it's like the Shelby Crest rivalry that I mentioned to you a while ago. This is for blood, money, and brothers and sisters and cousins and going to church tomorrow morning as to how this turns out. Right. If you lose this game, and it's Coach K's last game, the only thing you'll know about Duke, he went out a loser twice. If you're Carolina and you lose this game, well, it was Coach Davis's first season. We did good to get there. We weren't expected to do anything. But if they win it, then it becomes a shrine. Who can tell me what Coach K's record against Dean Smith was? What was his one loss against Dean Smith, Kevin? What was Coach K's record against Dean Smith?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head, obviously.
Coach Smith, 24. Coach K, 14. I mean, he's been around a long time. He's won a lot of games. But Carolina can say, well, we've had success before. Let's just go out and play tonight.
Well, Matt, last two games, Duke scored 81 and 87. So they're going to score in the 80s. Carolina had 94 and 67. So is it what Carolina team shows up?
Well, this is not the Carolina team that they beat by 20 in early February. The
freshmen aren't freshmen either on Duke.
No, yeah, it's not the same Duke team. Yeah, I've been incredibly impressed with what Duke has done offensively. They scare me when Paolo is hitting his outside shots, which is what he's been doing. Jeremy Roach has been unbelievable. I never expected this out of him after watching him last year. I think Duke's going to score. What makes me feel better as a Carolina fan is that nobody's going to mistake Texas Tech or Arkansas for an offensive juggernaut.
Yeah.
And so the question about Duke coming into the tournament was their defense, and I don't think they've played a team yet that's really able to test that too much. And I think Carolina is the first team offensively that could really put pressure on Duke's defense, especially if those shots are falling. In that game in Cameron, it was that middle ball screen in the middle of the court. R.J. Davis, Caleb Love coming off the screen up top, and Duke couldn't do anything with it. They've obviously had a month to think about it now, and Coach K's, I'm sure, come up with something. I don't know if they're going to pack the paint and leave Leaky Black wide open in the corner and dare him to try to make a shot. He had a stretch of a few weeks in February where he was hitting them, and I don't think he's made one since. So I mean, it's
we got Teen Wolf, Leaky, and a Puff. I don't know how I feel about that.
Does Leaky play Baccaro? Your coach Davis, do you play Leaky on Baccaro?
I would start with Manic on Paolo. Just like they did in Cameron. If Paolo wants to take 26 shots again like he did in that game, please, he can.
He takes the other guys out.
Yes, if he wants to go hero mode and try to win the game himself, I welcome that 100%. And the thing I think why they've been so much better since that game in Cameron is that he hasn't taken anywhere close to 26 shots in a game. He's been closer to 14, 15, and he's been doing it efficiently.
And if you're Carolina, and let's say Caleb Love comes out and he hits 2 3-pointers early in the game, hot hand, you go with him.
Yeah.
If it's cold, maybe even the second half, we'll come back to you.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna take his shots regardless. He's gonna find his shot. Whether he's feeling it or not, he's gonna keep putting them up. And he's been incredibly frustrating to watch throughout the season. Some nights you love him, some nights he drives you crazy. But the one thing I do love about him is he is not scared to take a big shot.
He's got a shooter's mentality.
Yeah, he hit the winner against Syracuse at the end of the regular season when we were still on the bubble, and if we had lost that game at home, it would have been a tragedy.
Like the Michael Jordan Georgetown shot.
Mm-hmm.
But as he calls him, Teen Wolf, if he hits a couple threes, it's going to be a long night.
If Carolina shoots 40 to 50% from three, I don't know if Duke can win. I mean, they just between Manic, Davis, and Love, I mean, if they get going, they're hard to beat. But you can, those guards, you can take them out of their game. It's been shown, Tennessee did it, Duke did it the first game. Their kryptonite was when you get physical with them, they kind of fold. And they've been a lot better about that of late. It's a really interesting matchup, and I can't wait to see it play out.
I'm interested to see if Duke deploys that zone again against Carolina, and that's one thing I heard talked about. They said you don't realize how big Duke is till they go to that zone.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to shoot over those guys on top of everything else, and you allow Williams to basically just stand at the back line and patrol the paint, and they become a big fit, like you say, big physical basketball team. And so we'll see if Duke's able to pull that off again. If Carolina able to knock down those outside shots, if Duke goes back into the zone. Matt made a great point. I'm interested to see what Jeremy Roach does in this game. He has really taken charge of this offense, and I think that's why you see Banchero not taking the shot he has, because Roach has really become a facilitator for the offense, setting guys up the way they need to be set up. And we talk about shooters. If A.J. Griffin and Trevor Keels are hitting their outside shot, Carolina can't win this game. So both teams, if they have that hot hand from the three, the other team's going to have a really difficult time beating that score.
Your Coach K or your Coach Davis, do you want a run and gun or do you want a half-court slowdown game? I think Duke wants the half-court.
I think Duke wants to run when the opportunities are there. I don't think they're going to mind getting in a half-court game. They, like we said, we saw Arkansas, Texas Tech, but with those athletes. And you saw it against Texas Tech. Mark Williams can run the floor as good as any big man in the country. So I don't think they're going to mind if we're going up and down. It's just going to be a matter of doing it at the right time. I think so. Carolina needs to run when they had the opportunities, obviously, but I don't think Carolina wants to get up and down. I think in a perfect world, I think Hubert would play all 5 starters all 40 minutes tonight.
I think a 70-point game favors Carolina. A 90-point game favors Duke.
Because you talked about the extended halftime. You get 5 extra minutes for halftime. The TV breaks are a little bit longer. I think, barring foul trouble, I would not be surprised if the 5 starters play all 40 minutes.
All right, so before the season started, remember there's as far as replacing Roy, the big arguments over Hubert Davis and everything. And I was 100% on the Hubert. Were you in on that or not?
Yeah,
I can't remember. I can't.
It was kind of a wait and see. I wasn't mad at it.
I just thought, playing for Dean and coaching under Roy, he knew both systems. He played in the NBA. He's kind of a younger guy. I thought it was a home run choice. And one thing we're going to see as far as coaching style is we have in the tournament. Roy didn't call timeouts.
No, so I fault Roy for trying to be too much like Dean in terms of that. The only thing he didn't do was smoke cigarettes on the bench.
Well, yeah.
But everything like the timeout strategies and all that stuff was just duplicate Dean.
Well, their offense, and the reason they did that, Dennis, and I played on that offense at Bessemer, it's called you run the secondary break.
Yeah.
Coach K knows what you're running. Everybody in the building knows what play you're running. Yeah. It's the same play every play, and that's what they did, and that's why the power forwards are always the leading scorer. You go through Carolina's history under Dean and Roy, they fed the power forward because he runs right down the middle of the floor, and you try to feed him the ball. The Hansbrough, the Jamesons, the James Worthy's right down the middle. If they don't, you kick it and swing it. It's the same offense. Hubert's not doing that.
No.
And so that's what's made it difference between Coach K just can't come in there and say, hey, regarding that secondary, because I don't even know if they're running the secondary. You can see a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one to say times. I haven't watched enough to say they don't run it all the time.
They do run
but I do know for the most part that's Dean Smith's offense, and that's what they ran.
And two post.
Right.
Everybody goes 2 post.
Right.
Now it's the one guy and kick it to the wing.
Yeah, they're running like a 4 out.
So Coach K's coaching a different Carolina than he has, and if somebody gets hot shooting, you don't know their strategy. It's a different game, and we'll see. I guess everybody picking what shirt you're wearing.
Yeah.
Let's go around the room. Dennis, who you got tonight? Who you got tonight? Because we got to put it on record, Dennis. Because we'll cut your bad pick if you make a bad pick.
You want me to make a pick?
Yeah, go. It's your turn.
This is just for tonight.
Yes.
Just for tonight. The pressure's on Duke. Carolina wins in a close one. A close one. Tonight. Monday night, it's a different story. Kansas wins it all.
Matt Chapman.
Tonight, I'm picking Carolina. I think the way it plays out, I think Duke comes out and throws the haymaker They're going to come out and try to bury Carolina after that game in Cameron. You know those guys were embarrassed sitting on that bench watching Coach K apologize to the crowd and all the former players. Duke's going to come out and throw a punch. I think Carolina weathers it. I think it's close, very close at the under 8 in the second half. And I think the pressure does start to mount a little bit. And I think Caleb Love is the one who brings it home for Carolina at the end of the game. I think he closes it out.
Let's see. Right, press the right button. Mr. Roop?
For me, guys, and I know a lot of people talk about, what this means for the rivalry and things. To me, this is the watershed moment for all of us old ACC fans.
As far as the old guards.
Right,
over.
The 8-team ACC, the 9-team ACC. This is it. K's the last. And so from here on, now we step into a new era next year with Shire taking over. So to me, whatever happens, this is a great flag that's being planted. To me, it doesn't impact the rivalry as far as giving one team the advantage. Yes, it gives you a little bragging rights, but it changes.
It's 50-49 now.
Yeah.
So Carolina wins. Hey, at best, it's even Steven.
Right.
But if
Since
they
K.
lose
to
K, rides off into the sunset.
That's it. I mean, so that's going to be interesting. I think, again, what this Duke team has done, I've been very impressed with how they've grown up in the tournament. I've been impressed with the way K's changed coaching style in the tournament, going to that zone defense, something that a lot of us didn't think he would do, and they did it. And again, the play of Jeremy Roach from the point guard spot, what he's done in this run reminds me of what Jones did in that national championship run. I think Duke wins the game. Again, it's going to be a close game. I don't see either team running away with it, but I think at the end of the day, the Blue Devils advance, and they're playing for Coach K's possibly 6th national championship.
All right, so I'll be the childish one about this. I think they're going to bury K. He's over. It's over. Duke is over. I wrote this on my sheet. Is Duke over? John Shire, y'all never win again. This is your last chance to ever win anything.
Yeah.
It's all over. This is your last chance. I've shook Dean Smith's hand, Bill Guthridge's hand. I fist bumped Michael Jordan after a game-winning shot. That's a technicality. It was a Hornets Gerald Wallace hit, and I was sitting right behind him. But it was a game-winning playoff shot.
There you go.
I was sitting right behind Jordan. He fist bumped me. There's no way I would say Duke would win anything. In fact, when I do fill out my brackets every year, Carolina wins it, Duke is loose in the first round. I don't care. I put Duke loses in the first round every year. I don't care what my brackets go.
Here's the beautiful
Duke
thing.
loses every time.
They may not win a thing, but I'm so looking forward to next year watching Roach distribute the ball to Lively and Whitehead. Let's get it.
You know what's going to happen next year, Robbie? At this point, State is going to have more basketball players than y'all will next year.
But the question
That's
is,
what you need to be worried about.
We'll see.
if you're a top recruit
Who's
right
going to want
now,
to play for John Shire?
if you're a top recruit, do you want to go play for John Shires?
No.
Or
Evidently you do.
If Hubert
We'll see.
wins
We'll see.
tonight,
We'll see.
does the recruiting
That
from
is
Carolina
probably
go-
big. That is big. If Hubert does win tonight, and you know he's the coach going forward, that's probably big. But Duke's on a. You're right. I mean, Rob, they're
the top
very,
kid.
very thin line between being Duke and being
He's
NC State.
got to show. Shire's got to show he can coach.
Right.
But that Joker's shown he can recruit.
Well, it helps. I know Kay has been involved a little bit with those guys. Kind of that's why he says he wanted to announce a year in advance so that there wouldn't be this mass exodus.
I'll tell you what scares me, coaching. Excuse me, coaching wise for Duke is the possibility of losing Nolan Smith to Louisville. That concerns me. Him going to Louisville to be their number one assistant.
But
here's the question, though, fellas, that you got to think about in terms of this. Is Coach K really going to fade away and go away? I understand he picked Shire over Amaker and some of those guys because he could come back over to the gym and still be the coach without being the coach.
Everybody got talked about this Amaker deal, and why? What in the HE double Blue Devil did Tommy Amaker win? I mean, what makes us think Amaker's the guy?
I thought at some point Johnny Dawkins deserved it, but I didn't think Coach K would be here 70 years.
Right. I
thought he would have quit 10 years
ago.
ago.
10 years ago, Johnny Dawkins is probably the guy.
That's what happened to Wojciechowski. You guys.
He didn't. I think, again, Marquette, he showed he couldn't.
Here's the one thing Duke doesn't have, and they probably should have tried to get at it. I can't believe they never tried to make Battier part of the program as being a coach. Carolina at least could go to a player that actually played in the NBA and is a coach. Like, you bring in John Shower, I got Ewart Davis. I got Kenny Smith. I got Jerry Stackhouse if I need to. We'll have a fist fight. There's just a list of George Karl, Larry Brown.
I tell you
all
what,
of them
tell you what,
played.
Shower's got. Shower's got the brotherhood, baby.
What are the chances this is a? What are
the brotherhood is
You
real.
mean those 80 guys that sit there and watch Coe get his ass kicked?
Matt, last thoughts on that.
What are the chances K comes back if they lose tonight? Do you
I
really?
think so. I like it. I like it.
I
There's a
just-
chance.
You're on to something, man.
I don't know if he could. I don't know if he could live with himself
Robbie,
going out
this
like
is
that.
Further review.
This is unacceptable.
Especially with
This
the
is
recruits that they've got
unacceptable.
coming in next year, because they can win it next year, and he
see,
sees
that's
that.
it. He puts Shower in a great situation.
unacceptable.
That's what he wanted to do.
And what if, like I said, that situation, does he go back over to the gym and say, I'm coming back
What? So when he
officially or unofficially, I'm running this team?
when he announced last year that this would be his last year, I don't think in his wildest imagination he thought he'd ever be playing Carolina in the Final Four, thinking that it could maybe end this way.
And Roy Williams is sitting over there going, why didn't I give it one more year? Why didn't I give it one more year?
All right, we've got to go real quick. All right, what I said earlier about him losing that game in Cameron, I know he's pissed about it, right?
Yes,
but it's got to make him nervous that, dang it,
Oh, yeah.
what's about, I not only because not because of he's scared that they lose. I think it's more of he has and everyone at this level has this. They have a fear of failure, and I think Coach K's is really high, and I think that really bothered him.
It has to be. That's what gets you to that point,
right? And I think he's sitting there. He has to have his feeling this. He has to have the most butterflies I believe he's ever had, because just the way he reacted. If he wouldn't have said nothing, him coming on that court and going, "It's unacceptable," that just made every Carolina fan's day. He don't know he did it, but he did. He made everyone's day. That just that makes me laugh.
We were
but
sitting
I
there
think
going,
that has
yeah.
to sit in his mind and be nervous to think about. This is a different game he's ever coached before against Carolina. Again, different coach, different everything. It's going to be a fantastic game. Everybody go where you go. Do what you do.
Thank you,
Listen
Woody.
to don't cut nobody tonight. Take their money and laugh or whatever you need to do. Behave, be good. Call DDs. Do everything safe tonight as you can.
And Robbie and I will still be friends.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow morning.
With that said,
World keeps spinning.
With that said, be ready to party on Franklin tonight, baby. Yay! All right, we'll see you next Saturday. I want to thank Robbie Roop, Dennis Davis, Matt Chapman, and of course JP for playing the tunes today and doing all the buttons right and making sure Mario 64 still
and
works.
thank Phil Combs for listening. Hey,
Yeah,
Phil.
thank you, Phil. Thanks for listening. Tom Stinifani out and
I'm not Terry Gore,
Terry.
but thank you for listening.
Well, you guys got to see. I can get a picture of y'all three because I can send it out to the other guys real quick. Tell them they're fired. So we'll be back next week. See you guys later on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Man, I only do things incredible can, cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
Yes, it's tax time, and maybe you need some relief. And Shelby Heating and Air has a great spring tax relief tune-up special for just $69. Make sure your air condition is ready for the summer heat with a $69 tune-up. They'll do a complete